Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. All right. All right, all right, all right. Hello, 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 everyone. Today, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I have been really enjoying cooking shows, and I made a vegetarian, I guess technically vegan dolma yesterday. Came out, Chef's Kiss, shared a picture on Discord. Oh, girls. You know, dolma is one of those dishes that really is enhanced by the meat, but hear me out. Even Catholics who eat dolma, so my family growing up during Lent on Fridays would eat vegetarian dolma. So yesterday I made a vegetarian dolma. I just took basically all the veggies that I thought would be good in them, put them together, and it was just as good. It was so good. It was so good. So killed it yesterday with the recipes. And since we're discussing recipes, I thought we would spend this Friday watching this vegan cooking show that I found on YouTube. I'm pretty sure we can watch it, no problem. It's not, from my understanding, actually on TV, question mark. It's pretty low budget. So it's not going to be like a very well done, I think. I don't know. Apparently episode 1's pretty rough, but the rest of the season's pretty good. And apparently season 2's pretty great. So let's watch season 1 together today. It's just like 6 or so episodes, less than 30 minutes long each. We're going to do this today in between watching the cooking show. If you want to bring up vegan arguments, conversations about philosophy in relation to veganism, let's do that. One of the things that I'm consistently seeing from vegan feedback is one part of the vegan population is very much like veganism isn't about food, which is fine. But I feel like they're forgetting there's a whole part of the universe, like a different bubble that just talks about veganism through food. So usually when people do 30-day vegan challenges, they say that veganism is either about food, so health, environment, or animal welfare. And it feels like the animal welfare vegans want to have jurisdiction over the word vegan more than anybody else. So it's a little confusing for me, I think, jumping into this bubble, because again, if I'm talking about vegan food, right? So we're obviously talking about ways to eat vegan, then that could be for a lot of reasons, including something like health. So this show, Top Vegan, I assume isn't about the ethical consumption of animal products, though it could be. It's probably just about good vegan food, right? So let's enjoy, while I drink my vegan coffee, some vegan food recipes. I'm pretty excited. I really wanted to watch this on my own, but I was like, I'm going to watch it with stream. It's too good. It's too cash. It's too great to start off our Friday being so like vegan food. Like, I don't know. It just sounds fun. Now, if for some reason they do cancel us out and we can't watch it on stream, I've got backup content. Don't worry. So let's go ahead and try to give this a try. Like I said, it's very low budget, but apparently it's a nice little representation of vegan food. And I did find out there are actually quite a few vegan Michelin star restaurants. So, I mean, this might not be Michelin star, but the idea is that it could be, right? Like, this isn't going to be Michelin star, but that's kind of the fun of it too, is can you imagine what like Michelin star vegan food must taste like? I would love to try it. I saw this, before we get started, I saw this like vegan chef, not vegan, sorry, Michelin star chef who I think went a little too far. But it was like, I don't know if I'm just like, I'm not put off meat yet. It's not like I'm having that reaction, but it kind of put me off meat, where he brought this antler, and placed it in front of the people, and you eat from the antler and it like is meat. And I don't know why, it just kind of grossed me out. Like, okay, we get it, buddy. But like, it was too much. But the vegan chef that was featured on that show, the Twin Study show, the documentary, that vegan chef, I mean, he had done that for ethical reasons after winning so many Michelin stars for his meat, but then switched over to vegan. So it definitely can be done. And I definitely think some Michelin stars, I don't know, like Michelin star chefs are, you know, they're not necessarily always for the food alone. Sometimes it's for the ambiance. So even being titled Michelin star doesn't always mean the greatest food. Sometimes it just means the most interesting experience, you know? All right, let's see how we fare with this experience here. Let me know how the volume is. Ooh, off to a good start.
Come on in, chefs. Welcome, welcome. Gather round, gather round. Well,
It is on 1.2 speed.
welcome everyone to Top Vegan. We're here at The Mix, the state-of-the-art culinary facility here at Columbus State, for the next week to compete across 6 challenges, where you'll be tested on your culinary creativity, your kitchen aptitude, and above all, your ability to adapt to what's in front of you. At the end of this week, a winner will be crowned Top Vegan, and with that comes business mentorship and a $10,000 cash prize. My name is Chad Goodwin. I'm a local
You buy a lot of vegetables for 10K.
restaurateur. I've owned 2 of the most popular vegan restaurants here in Columbus for around the last 5 years. I've been recognized both locally and nationally for the work we've done in our restaurants. But this isn't about me this week. I'd love it to be about me, but it's not. It's about all of you and the wonderful plant-based dishes you're about to be making. So if you'd like to turn around, take in the space, and take your space at your station, we'll get ready for the first challenge.
Okay, let's go.
I have a legitimate chance to become the first Top Vegan.
So I think there's a difference between confidence and cockiness. My mama told me not to be cocky.
I think I have a shot. We'll see if I have the stamina.
To the average American, the word veganism has a lot of connotations to it. And unfortunately, from the outside, some people can view plant-forward dishes as bland and uninspiring. So for that reason, at both of my restaurants,
I will be honest, I'm going to judge them on plating because that is my next. So my next, as a personal home cook myself, not a chef, but a home cook, because, I think you should be a cook in your kitchen. My next goal is to get better with plating because I think aesthetics matter with food. I do. Now, I'm not going to be Michelin star chef status. I'm watching The Table, it's a reality TV show on Netflix. It's a cooking show with Michelin star chefs. What's it called? The Table? Something like that. But I want it to be aesthetically pleasing, my food. So that's my next goal. Now I'm good because I've already got Flavor down. Flavor Town, Pound Town. You know what I'm saying? Now we got to go for aesthetics. And I'm working on it, Chad says you eat with your eyes first. What's funny? Actually, in a lot of the vegan documentaries that I was watching, one of the things they talked about was how we eat for comfort. We eat visually. And when those two things are out of whack, which often happens when going vegan, it's very confusing, right? It can be a very confusing experience. And I think that's so true. I think sometimes when I'm eating, I'm looking for texture that's familiar. And I don't know how much of it is predicated on even being autistic at this point, since neurotypicals seem to have the same issue where they are looking for a texture. They're looking for an experience. And when that experience isn't had, that's where the disappointment comes in.
restaurants in the city, I focused on making classic American dishes that any average American could enjoy. I started with burgers, fries, and shakes
Yum.
at my first restaurant, Edenburger, and now at my downtown diner, 4th and State, I've got all that, plus pancakes, breakfast all day, stuffed crust pizza, and a whole lot more. The goal of today's challenge is to show people that going plant-based, going vegan, isn't about giving up your favorite foods. It's about finding the right substitute for your palate. So for today's challenge, that's exactly what you'll be doing, creating one stunning classic American dish, all vegan. And to help me judge our classic American challenge for today is the executive chef from Liberty Tavern. Please, everyone, a round of applause for Chef Nick Thompson.
All right, Nick.
Welcome, Chef. How are you? Happy to have you. So for the last 4.5 years, Chef Nick has been running things as the executive chef over at Liberty Tavern. And if I'm not mistaken, you've been eating a lot more vegan the last year.
Yeah, so in April of 2021, I changed my diet up, lose a little weight, get a little more energy.
I think we're really excited to test your dishes. And if you guys are ready, I think it's time to start the first challenge.
Okay,
you guys ready?
let's go.
Oh,
yeah.
All right, for this first one, you'll have 75 minutes for one stunning classic American dish.
That's pretty long. With a lot of the competitions, they give them 60 minutes. So those are pretty good.
And your time starts now.
I'm not going to play with you. My anxiety would be so high if I worked in a kitchen. I've never worked in a restaurant and I've never worked in a kitchen. I've worked in a deli, but delis were easy for me. Prepping deli food, making people sandwiches, frying some food, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Something about a restaurant gives me so much anxiety. I think it's because I'm kind of klutzy, and I think that would just but also it's like go, 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 go. And it's so think about how this has to be somebody's special interest, somebody's love, someone's passion to really run a great restaurant. And also I really I think I am consistently shocked at the people who think warming things in the microwave is cooking, like with peace and love. Obviously, we all have disadvantages, but if I'm going to a restaurant and I'm spending $100, I do expect some sort of standard, right? Again, eating in our homes, who cares? But if I'm going out, I'm spending money, I'm paying a 20%, 25% tip. Like, I do prefer an experience personally. And my parents always had a rule growing up, like, what, we're not going to go out to eat unless we go out to eat to a place that we can't replicate at home. So if we can replicate it at home, we're not going to go eat it somewhere else. So we would always make sure we went to restaurants that felt like an adventure, felt like, you know, an experience. And, you know, my parents would make it a habit like once a month or so to take all the kids out at once. And we usually went to like Asian food places. So like sushi, or my dad loved this like Asian bistro for the longest time. And we would go there every time. And the guy knew us, and we'd come in with all the kids, all 10 kids, you know, we'd be sitting at the table, and it was great. Or maybe 8 of the kids once the older brothers left the home. But like, you know, we'd all show up and it was great. Like, it was fun. We could all order whatever we wanted, you know, and it was an experience. We couldn't replicate this at home. Now, of course, eventually, you know, we all had our favorites. And even if we could replicate it at home, we'd go out to eat as a family. But most of the time, it's about the experience for me, not the convenience. Though convenience plays a role in, I think, all of our lives. I really want food to be an experience, and like, what a privilege that is to experience food, you know?
I'm rooting for everybody, honestly. I mean, of course, I'm rooting for myself first. Have to be honest, you know, but
I would love to be the next top vegan, but these people are talented, so you never know what's gonna happen.
Never know.
Does anyone have sugar? White sugar?
A lot of brainstorming, a lot going through my head as I was going through the pantry, and then
Ooh, pantry's not so fancy set up, girls. I feel like they could have done cuter with the pantry, but okay.
even getting back to my station, it was like, oh, I forgot this. Okay, do I need that? Do we have that?
I would try not to serve nasty food, I promise.
What if they trick them and had meat in there, just as like a trick? Or non-vegan milk, just to see if they would catch it.
I waste the mushroom. Girl, I just tasted once.
You really feel it starting to heat up in here as well.
Oh yeah, it really getting in. Everybody's hit heat at some point now. Everyone hustling and bustling. I'm starting to feel the nervous energy transfer from me only to them.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty good now. I'm feeling pretty good. I don't have to cook till I get to the restaurant tonight.
Does anyone have regular salt and pepper?
Salt, pepper,
Thank you so much.
no problem.
See, we haven't seen anyone starting to run around too fast yet, but
I think once we hit sub 20 minutes, that's when we'll see who people really are.
right.
What do you think? We take a little walk around, see what everybody's working on? Do it. Wonderful. All right, Chef Noel, you want to tell us what you're making today? I see some mushrooms and maybe some milk and dredge. I see some.
I'm actually doing chicken and waffles, but I'm making them into sliders.
I actually work at a senior living home, and I'm a sous chef there. We do not have a restaurant, but that is one of my goals. So hopefully being on Top Vegan will help me get there.
I appreciate the words of encouragement because I did it.
What kind of pasta did you decide to use?
So I made a semolina all-purpose flour, just normal pasta. Got to be ready to go. Just need to get a rolling boil.
Right now, I am a stay-at-home dad. When I went vegan, I was living in Lubbock, Texas. I went from eating out all the time to suddenly having to know how to cook.
Shanley, how you doing? What are you making for us today?
I am making a vegan take on pot pie.
Well, we're very excited to see it.
Hopefully I can get it on a plate.
Yeah, and, and trust me, I'll give you just enough warning, so whatever you got done, you just throw it on a plate, and contractually, I have to eat it. So,
Okay, all right, that's good to know. That's good to know. I just started getting more into cooking during the pandemic, actually. I watched a few documentaries and slowly started transitioning to vegetarian and then vegan.
I do love a pot pie, bros. I do love a pot pie. I've been experimenting with putting gluten back into my body. And I will say, like, so far so good. It's a little complicated. But since I had done the vegan diet for 30 days and I'd felt so much better, I wondered if it was the dairy that was initially bothering me. But we'll see, because if I can get crust back into my life, if I can get like gluten back into my life, fluffy bread back into my life, because I make a lot of breads without like butters. Like, I don't need butter and eggs to make bread. So, you know, the flatbread on the gluten-free flour has been fine, but it's just not the same. And so I am like stoked at the idea of being able to maybe put gluten back in, but man, I love a pot pie.
Are you doing okay?
Yes, how are you?
I'm like sweating, like a pig. I mean, I am. Oh my goodness.
Rhea, how about yourself? What are you working on over here?
Okay, so I am making corn and black bean fajita nachos. I'm whipping together one of my favorite sauces. Well, with the ingredients that I have.
Yes, and maybe making some
gotta make
substitutions.
kind of like a little bit of a remix. I definitely have the passion and the skill set to make it happen. And the work ethic, and the drive, and the determination, and the motivation. That's just to name a few.
And maybe this is good for the stereotypes of vegan, but I don't see a single block of tofu. I'll be happy to see some other plant-based proteins get put front and center. Now, in your application, you had mentioned you kind of set up challenges like this to compete against your husband.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we're only maybe 20, 25 minutes in. How's it stacking up? Has it felt harder at home against him or maybe here at the
Well,
mix?
the difficulty is we would let our children choose the secret ingredients. So we would give them a credit card and send them loose in Whole Foods. And they would come back with a kiwi and a knob of ginger and a jalapeno. So that
And say, make it work.
And say, make it.
I love that. I told my partner the other day, I was like, pick 5 items and let me see if I can cook it. I was like, let's do a cooking competition. And I get like really excited about doing stuff like that. I'm like, what can I do with these 5 items? Like, what can I make the way we, you know what I mean? There's so many ways to spend our time. There's so many different kinds of hobbies in the world. Also, my partner was very kind. They were out in town at another grocery store, like a bigger one, and managed to get me 3 different types of tofu, which I was like so happy about. That was so sweet of them. And they like surprised me. They're like, I got you something. And I was like, what did you get me? And it was 3 different types of tofu. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. It's the sweetest thing. So I actually did, I shredded the tofu. I got fresh tofu, basil tofu, and smoked tofu. And I took the fresh tofu and I shredded it. I fried it with the vegetables and I stuffed it into the dolma. It was good. Yeah. Ooh, Chet says, have you ever done the frozen tofu hack? I have not, but I've heard good things. We don't have the most convenient freezer. We have a very small freezer. So I've like not really done it yet, but I do want to try it, And then I don't know, Chet says basil tofu. Oh my gosh. Have you tried it? Because I have not tried it, but I love basil. I love basil. So I'm very excited to try it. I'm curious if it's going to be good. I'm excited. I've been really enjoying working with tofu. There's so many things I can do with it. So many things. But my favorite is the smoked tofu. That's my favorite so far. Smoked. Anything smoked, though. Really, like anything smoked is my jam.
It work, and we'd have to share that between the 2 of us.
I've been vegan for 25 years. Back in the day, restaurants really didn't accommodate vegans or vegetarians, so I had to learn to cook in order to eat.
This is what I get for having a messy station. Oh, right there, in front of my face.
Hey, Elizabeth, what have we got going on here?
Jalapeno hush puppies with a green goddess sauce.
What's the inspiration for this dish?
I always enjoyed hush puppies as a kid. I mean, it wasn't something we made at home, but it was kind of like a special treat.
I went to culinary school, studied macrobiotic cooking. I was a personal chef. I had a vegan supper club in Austin, Texas.
Behind Rhea.
May I use your hot sauce?
Did you need any tasting spoons, Christian?
Yeah, I mean, I'll grab.
Right here.
Oh, okay, thank you.
What are you going to be using for the chicken substitute? What's the base?
That's going to be oyster mushroom.
I love oyster mushrooms, so I'm excited to see how you fry those up, my friend.
So I'm actually a project accountant for a telecommunications company full-time, and I'm a vegan private chef on the side.
Ooh. I love when they tell me what people do. That's like my favorite, right? And then here's the thing. Okay, so I have a love-and-hate relationship with mushrooms. So like some days I love them and some days I'm like, don't even look at me. I don't want to talk to you. But one of the things that I haven't found here yet is these like big mushrooms. So like a lion's mane or an oyster mushroom. I haven't found them yet again, because I only shop within the radius of like a walking distance store. I haven't gone to the bigger stores yet because Croatia has bigger stores. They have like big markets, like Walmart's like big. I just haven't gone. Because it's I've gone, but I haven't gone recently since I've gone, vegan diet because it's farther away. But it's one of those things where I think I'll look there to see if they have them. But, I love a fry. Like when I make mushrooms, most of the time I crisp them up. I am a crispy girly. Okay. Onions, tofu, mushrooms. I want it crispy. I want it like, almost like, is this burnt, but it's not burnt. I want it to be, ooh, that sounds good with some chips. Ooh, with some tortilla. Like that's my vibe right there. But I like it fried, but it's a hit and miss. It's like some days I love them and sometimes I don't. You know, just be, it's just like that sometimes. But I love seeing everyone cook with mushrooms because I know everyone's like, oh, if you want to meat substitute mushrooms, give me some tofu any day though. Never not want tofu.
So it's a cashew cream sauce, and normally I use peas. Didn't have any, so I'm using broccoli today, and I'm gonna do like a broccoli cheddar mac.
I think we do have a can of sweet peas
Really?
floating around. It's
I've
somewhere,
already got
but
the
we're too
film.
far.
We're
We're too
going
far. We've switched it.
Yeah. My name's Chloe Graffio. I'm from Columbus. I actually went to school for creative writing and painting, so I would love to write a cookbook someday.
Yeah, time just flying by.
Oh yeah, it's all that kitchen time.
Kitchen time. Kitchen time is different. It's not
Yeah.
Eastern. It's not Mountain time. Kitchen time, and it all goes faster.
Oh yeah.
Anybody have a lime? Or did you guys use them all?
No, there's some.
Lime? I have one. I use it.
Christian knows how to know.
Thank you. Do you need it?
I was.
Got 30 minutes left, chefs. 30 minutes.
Thank you, 30.
Heard.
Heard.
It wouldn't be a cooking show without
Right.
saying heard.
So Jeff was running back to get something. He must have forgotten something from the.
Listen, I don't even go to the grocery store once. I usually get out to the parking lot, have to go back in for something. I couldn't imagine being here with the parameters around what you're doing, going back and forth, remembering everything.
I'm feeling good. Coming down the home stretch, I recovered from my burnt tempeh, redid it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
great.
Now, you're glad we waited to eat today.
Yum, 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 yum.
I think the hungrier I get, the more.
Okay, you know what I've always wondered though about these cooking shows? If you're the person whose food is eaten last, I wonder if you have an advantage or disadvantage. Because sometimes, like when we're hungry and we've been waiting to eat, the first thing we eat, we think is the most delicious. But then I think that's maybe the difference between a chef and maybe a layperson. Maybe as a layperson, I'm thinking that way. But as a chef, they're thinking, they know the difference between hunger, deliciousness, like, oh, this is good because I'm hungry, and this is good because it's good, you know?
Critical I'm going to become.
You just roast every one of them.
Yeah, be like, mac and peas, more like, mac and please, get this the hell away from me. Who's next? Chicken and waffle? Chicken and not full.
Chicken and awful.
There you go. Boom, we're ready. On which dish do you think is going to come out and absolutely knock our socks off?
You know, honestly, this is very well filmed. Like, I thought it was going to be more hokey or something, but it's great. I don't know what we expected. Like, it's good.
I really think that chicken and waffles, I think she's very confident in what she's doing.
And chicken and waffles is now the last 10 or 15 years become this next wave of Americana.
Ooh, is that French toast? My next goal is to get my waffles, pancakes, and French toast down. That's my next goal.
A staple. But yeah, personally, that, you know, Teresa's, biscuits, gravy, tempeh hash.
Fantastic. That hash sounds fantastic.
We got 2 minutes, chef. Final 2. If you got something on heat, I would take it off and get it on a plate.
1 minute, chefs. 1 minute left. Start thinking about plating.
All right, 10
Ooh,
seconds,
that's a lot of
chef.
syrup.
We're going hands up at 0. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hands up, everybody. Hands up. And now let's everybody wave to each other because we all met some new people today and everybody did great. Give yourself a round of applause.
It was intense. I have never been in a commercial kitchen before.
It wasn't chaotic, but I was like,
I just kind of locked in and just rolled with it.
I think everyone has an equal opportunity to pull ahead here.
All right, chefs. You've spent hours here today at the mix, and the last 75 minutes seems like it was a whirlwind. And now we're going to get to the part that you and I know we have been waiting for all day. So if you're all ready, I'm thinking we'll get into trying some dishes. All right, Jeff, would you like to tell us and everyone what you've made for us today?
Yeah, so this is what's called a four-way. So
Oh.
it's spaghetti, Sky
I've had one of those.
Island or Cincinnati-style chili,
Now, what did you use for like the meat chili substitute that you've gotten here?
lentils.
Lentils, wonderful. I think with the cheese and that sweetness, maybe finding like a little bit more like spice takes me back to visiting one of my high school girlfriends at Skyline when she'd give me a half-off plate of noodles.
It was awesome, but you know, there's a hard ceiling to how it can look.
So, Kristen, you want to tell us what you made here?
Sir, so chefs, I have a barbecue chicken sandwich, and the chicken is oyster mushroom with baked zucchini fries and
Ooh, baked zucchini fries, the best.
homemade barbecue sauce. I would recommend smushing it down and just taking a bite.
You said you baked these?
I baked them, yes.
Incredible crunch on them. How are those first few bites for you, chef?
Pretty good. You can taste a lot of the vinegar in the barbecue sauce and the slaw.
I had an idea, and then what I had wasn't there, so I had to roll with another one.
Chef, would you like to tell us a little bit about the dish you made?
So I did a little spin on chicken and waffles. Instead, I made mini waffles and kind of made it into a slider.
Oh, interesting to put the fruit on the chicken and waffles, but you know, because the balance between the sweet and the savory, I love a spicy chicken and waffles. Ooh.
I would say Lego my ego, because I might need the rest of the sandwich, friend.
Good balance of the sweet and the salty, and not too much pepper.
It worked for me. Like I said, I'm a brunch person, so I think I did okay.
You're looking nervous and excited, which makes me nervous and excited. Do you bake a lot of biscuits?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Known for my biscuits.
You're known for your biscuits. Okay.
My kids know me for my biscuits, so I'm known around home for my biscuits.
I would love to be known for my biscuits. That's also a part of the goal. I think pastries are the next goal. Vegan pastries. Chad says, is chicken and waffles like a breakfast? Chicken and waffles to me is like an all day thing. I feel like breakfast, lunch, dinner, chicken and waffles. You know, I feel like it's one of those really, I mean, I kind of feel like all breakfast food is chicken, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But I do think chicken and waffles specifically is really great for all three meals.
Kids.
Yeah, really great flavors in the hash. You know, a lot of that savoriness, a little bit of balance of hot with the cooling off of the corn there.
There were no raw cashews. There were roasted ones, but those won't work. So I had to improvise.
So this is my broccoli cheddar mac. So I have a cashew cream sauce that makes it like that mac and cheese feel. I recommend diving straight into the middle because that's where it's probably warmest and gooeyest.
This is where the action is right here. Okay.
I think the broccoli's cooked really well. A lot of times people get it to be too soggy or too mushy, or it has a nice little crisp to it.
The crispy onions do create a wonderful contrast and texture with the pasta.
I think I played it too safe today. I was kind of like kicking myself for doing that.
Chef, please tell us about your dish.
Jalapeno hush puppies. So there's jalapeno, fresh sweet corn, and green onions in the hush puppies. And then a green goddess dressing of fresh herbs and avocado and lemon.
Well, let's see how the heat plays in, Chef, please. Going right for the jalapeno.
Okay, let's see.
We used a little more spice in the hush puppies themselves. I know with jalapenos you don't want to overdo it.
Yeah, yeah, that's why I didn't want to I don't want to kill their mouths.
Surprisingly, it doesn't taste spicy at all.
I mean, I guess I played it safe with the jalapenos. Like I didn't put the seeds and stuff in because I'm like, well, I don't want to burn their mouth.
Mistakes.
So I made a rustic vegan version of a classic American chicken pot pie.
Wonderful. And yeah, I saw while you were waiting for things in the oven, you were doing a little bit of praying, a little bit of waiting.
A lot of praying.
It certainly got that hearty feel to it. And my first bite, I feel like it might be a little bit too much salt.
Definitely a wonderful pot pie. My only issue, that dough is a little bit thick.
Overall, pretty pleased with how it went, and hoping that continues.
It did look undercooked. Like it looked for a chicken pot pie. Like I feel like it was like very. Look at it. I feel like it looks a little undercooked. Like where's the brown? I feel like a chicken pot pie should have like a. Maybe I would have liked if they moved the fork on it and gave me a little. You know, it did look a little. Yeah.
My only.
How it went, and hoping that continues.
Chef, please tell us about your plate.
So that is a plate of Fiesta nachos. I did have to do a workaround. There were no tortilla chips, so I did have to make tortilla chips.
And I saw you dancing with these beans earlier. I'm hoping we see Nick two-stepping.
I might have gone and diced the peppers a little bit instead of the slices, but the flavor's on point.
Well, it's definitely a dish fit for a party and a good time.
It seemed to have worked out. Like I'm pleased.
All right, chefs.
Chad says most vegan pastries won't brown because of the proteins. Gotta do a soy milk sugar wash on top instead. Hey, write that down. That's good to know.
Start off by giving yourselves a round of applause because that was amazing. 75 minutes, new kitchen, ingredients you didn't know what was going to be here, and you guys put out some wonderful dishes and definitely made our job hard. I was really impressed. I think you were as well.
Absolutely.
I think we're going to step out for a few moments, deliberate, come up with a winner.
Okay, what do we think? I feel like the chicken and waffles is going to win. Because first of all, chicken and waffles is just too good. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a sure win. And it's got to be good vegan because it's a waffle. Somebody in chat said waffles are better than pancakes. You know, hard agree. I love waffles. Like I could eat a waffle every day. That's why I want to get my waffle recipe down vegan style. Because yeah, like I love a waffle. I feel like that one's going to win maybe. Discord thinks chicken and waffles probably, yeah. But also making your own tortilla chips is impressive. That's true too. Actually, that's a great point, is like the fact that she had to make her own. But were they crispy or were they soggy? They looked slightly soggy to me. So then I'm wondering if they were. They didn't comment on it. But if they're crispy tortilla chips, then she's a contender. You know, I've been doing that with I've been making like a lot of chili fries. So like a lot of, you know, potato, which, oh my gosh, potato's like €3 a bag. That lasts me a week of, you know, once a meal every day of like a little bit of potato. I bake them in the oven. You know, I throw some just plain salt on there, and then I get some beans that I've like put, you know, nutritional yeast on and spice them up. And then I just eat the fries with the beans, and it's so good.
For today's challenge, and unfortunately, then I'll have to release one of you for the rest of this week. All right, Chef. So I think let's start with some positives. Who do you think fared the best today?
I think one that stood out to me was the biscuits and gravy. It had a lot of different aspects to the dish.
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Interesting.
Another few that stand out for me were both of the mushroom chicken.
Ooh, gravies. Y'all, I have not been experimenting with gravies. This make me hungry.
Sandwiches, you know, something that I think you could pop on any
You could do
American
lunch or
menu.
dinner with it and be able to do either one.
Yeah, I would say Elizabeth with the hush puppies.
Yeah. For an hour and 15 minutes, I would expect it to be pushed a little further. I was kind of middle of it. As far as presentation goes, it wasn't anything exciting, but the flavor was definitely above.
Yeah. I think those nachos, for how much veg was on that plate, I would have loved so much more spice. All right, that was a tough 75-minute challenge. Our top 3 dishes for today were Chef Noel, Chef Teresa, and Christian. Chef Noel, your dish was absolutely delicious. Something I could throw on my menu right now. Teresa, the number of components on your plate and the complexity of it really contributed to all of the flavors. And Christian, the sandwich was delicious. Zucchini fries were crisp. Great job. And now we're gonna let Chef Nick announce our winner for this competition.
Based on the actual composition, flavor, and components, we decided that Christian will be the winner of this challenge.
Clap it up for Christian. And overall, it was just a big, great American dish. So congratulations, my friend.
Oh, it was I forgot it was American themed. American dish for breakfast. Yeah, okay. Okay, I forgot that. Why did she make a chicken pot pie? Wait. Wait, was it an American dish? No, it was an American dish, but didn't have to be breakfast. Wait, was it breakfast? No, it was, why did she make a chicken pot pie? No, it was not just breakfast because they also made the cheese, but the nachos are American. Okay, hold up. It was just American. Yeah, chicken pot pie. I guess so. Huh. Okay. It's just people settled on breakfast foods. I just realized like biscuits and gravy is a breakfast food to me. You know, waffles, chicken waffles, breakfast food to me, but also I guess I could have chicken and biscuits and gravy all day. Okay, I'm overthinking it.
I was just trying to lock in as much as I could. I'm just going to try to get better as this competition goes on.
Okay.
Now, if you'd all like to give a round of applause for Chef Nick for helping us.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
He's gonna get out of here and enjoy the rest of his night before he's back at Liberty Tavern tomorrow. Hopefully running some more vegan specials there soon, so be on the lookout. Thank you very much for coming to meet us today, Chef. Thank you. One more time for Chef Nick. As sweet as it is to announce a winner, unfortunately, every episode we're going to have to eliminate someone. Our bottom 2 dishes for today were Rhea and Elizabeth.
Oh.
Rhea, from you, I think.
Oh, uh-oh.
We were just looking for a few more standout flavors.
That's like the bottom of the barrel. You know what I mean? It's like one or the other.
Hold up. Chad says nachos are not American. Nachos originated in Mexico. My bad. Sorry. Shout out to Mexico. We love you. Of course. My bad. Of course. What am I saying? I meant America as a thieving country has stolen nachos and become a staple here. But to be fair, it's because Mexico inspires us greatly because we're half Mexico. Shout out to Mexico. Shout out to Mexico.
So I was kind of like, my heart was beating really, really fast.
And for you, Elizabeth, the flavors were great. The hush puppy was cooked to perfection. I think we were just missing some of that balance.
Starting off with American classics, I mean, that's not really my forte.
And now, for the hard part, the chef that will no longer be in the mix for Top Vegan.
I don't want anybody to go home, but I was just like, if it's me or her, like, let it be her, not me.
Is Elizabeth. I think we were just looking for a little bit more with 75 minutes. Those hush puppies would have made an astounding side for a dish, but I think we were both missing that wonderful hearty entree to really.
Yeah, wait, good point. Why would you make hush puppies for a main dish? But nacho, you would think nachos are a side dish, but nachos are a dish. Like if I eat enough nachos, that's good. I don't need anything else, especially if you put all that carne asada or tofu on top or pound them with beans. Like that's a hearty meal, you know?
They root that dish in something classic American. If you'd all like to give each other and Elizabeth and Rhea a round of applause. We had a really long day. It's never easy to see anyone go, but hopefully we've made some good connections, some great friends.
Shout out to Egon. Welcome to memberships.
My first choice of dish, the main ingredient to another contestants took it right away in the pantry, so I had to resort to my backup.
That's tough. That is not the easy, fun part of this. Even though we've only known each other for a day, I can see how passionate you all are about cooking and plant-based foods. Tomorrow's challenge is going to be international. We're going to be honoring the roots of where plant-based diets come from. Go home tonight, get some rest. We'll be back at it early tomorrow for our international challenge here on Top Vegan.
I feel like I don't want to over-prepare because that won't let me think on my feet more.
Tomorrow will definitely be more of a challenge.
So tomorrow they better have a big cup of ice water because I'm putting all the hot, all the heat, all the spice.
I feel really good, but I didn't come here to just win one challenge. I came here to win this whole thing, and I'm gonna keep it going.
Okay, let's go. Episode 2. International.
Come on in, chefs. Welcome back, chefs. The last time we were here, it was a tough challenge. We started with classic American, and unfortunately, Chef Elizabeth is no longer in the mix for Top Vegan. But today is a new day, and that means there will be a new winner, and unfortunately, a new loser. Though the term vegan wasn't coined until 1944, cultures in the Middle East, West Asia, and India have boasted plant-forward dishes and diets for centuries. And now, we started yesterday, Top Vegan, with classic American, the Americanization of what veganism means. Today, we're gonna pay homage and honor its international roots. And chefs, joining me today to judge this international challenge is co-owner of Tabbouleh Cafe, Chef Stephanie Gusler. Welcome, Chef. How are you?
Thank you. I'm good. How about you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us at Mitchell Hall today.
Thanks for having us.
So your cafe, Tabbouleh Cafe, specializes in Middle Eastern fare. What do you consider your staples for building a great Middle Eastern dish?
Well, certainly you start with vegetables. Chickpeas are sort of the cornerstone of a lot of our dishes. I recently have begun doing some vegan shawarma, which I use soy kernels for. Yesterday I did tofu gyros with some vegan tzatziki.
So chefs, for today's challenge, you're gonna have 75 minutes to create a stunning, internationally inspired dish that pays homage and honors veganism's international roots.
Okay.
And I think if you guys are ready.
So does that mean it has to be Indian, Middle Eastern, like it has to be the places he mentioned? Is that the challenge? See, I need written instructions.
Your time starts now.
Don't be locked, don't be locked. I just have loved getting to meet the contestants and everyone involved in this whole project and just seeing how other people cook and the flavors that they create.
I'm trying to kind of up my game, maybe things that I'm not familiar with that I can take back and incorporate in my own repertoire.
You have a cilantro that you can. I have some too.
I have plenty, so.
And you're gonna share, right?
Yes, ma'am. Like I said yesterday, my goal isn't to win 1 or 2 challenges. My goal is to make it to the last day and to win that challenge.
I like Szechuan, anything that is the spiciest of any particular cuisine is just gonna be my love.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind feeling some heat today. We had a few dishes that we thought could have used that extra kick yesterday. So I'm hoping they're not afraid with the season today and they really hit us with it.
Who has salt? I have salt. Yesterday they was like, oh, your peppers, they need to be chopped a little smaller. Let me tell you, I'm about to puree it. You're gonna need a spoon. You're gonna just, like your baby.
And they do what I'm doing, and that is talk to themselves.
Yes, oh yeah, I have to.
My partner always says, you do know you're talking to yourself, and I'm like, yes, I know. How else am
My partner says that to me all the time too.
I gonna get through this?
How else am I gonna get through this and who else is gonna listen to me?
Yeah. Anybody have the can opener?
I got it. Butter.
I mean, that's stressful in and of itself. I think that's smart to give them more time. So an average cooking show that I watch gives people an hour usually, depending on the show. They're smart to give them a little bit longer just because they have to share utensils and share things and because things aren't as accessible. Because I mean, just waiting for a can opener will slow you down by minutes.
Hey, Merciana, I love you. I told my girl I would mention her name today, so I had to.
Oh, it smells amazing in here. It's too bad the television can't pick that up.
Yeah, if we could, that'll be the next package. We're gonna package the smells of everything to smell along with the show.
Scratch and sniff.
Yeah, but now that's a great idea. What type of pasta are you gonna be whipping up?
I'm gonna do some fettuccine and try to plate it real fancy. Like plating's my favorite, and I didn't really get to show that off with
the pot pie. She did have a wonderful crust flour garnish.
Well, thank you. I did what I could with some dough and veggies, but
Adapting in the Top Vegan Kitchen is what it's all about, and I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
Oh, everyone's a team player. There hasn't been any I have that ingredient, but I'm not going to tell you.
Chef Noelle, we see you've got some chickpeas.
Yeah, so I am making a chickpea lentil curry because a lot of people feel that vegans don't get protein. So this meal will actually include 32 grams of protein in one serving.
So I'm gonna be ready to hit the gym
Absolutely.
after filming Commences
Let's
today.
go.
Good.
You're gonna be
I'm feeling that
Popeye.
plant-based muscle. That's exactly
I
what we're looking
remember Chad saying about spices from all around the world, so I was like, okay, I hear you, sir. I hear you.
for. Tell us a bit about what you're making.
I'm making a tofu vegetable pad thai.
Ooh, delicious.
Yes.
Yeah, we were thinking
Sorry I
we
couldn't make Lebanese today, but
That's quite all right. Well, I was just telling Chad that I have to eat so much of my own cooking that I'm okay to eat a different cuisine for a while.
right. I was really trying to bring my A game today and incorporate as many things into my dish as possible.
Sorry.
No, you're not.
Kinda.
Where do you think your mind would go? 75 minutes, internationally inspired.
I would probably go with an Indian dish.
Yep.
That would probably be my go-to.
Some type of curry. Would you be baking
Masala,
Okay.
chicken masala, something like chana masala.
Allspice.
Excuse me.
Leia.
Sorry for
Does anybody have allspice? So nobody act like they can hear me ask for allspice. Yeah. Somebody got the allspice. It was in the pantry. Sorry, y'all. I would like it written. Written.
You said this is going to be the butter cauliflower that'll go in there.
So I have
develop the sauce.
cauliflower in the oven right now, so it's doing a little bit of pre-roast.
Wonderful. And you said you're making your own version of an Indian bread?
Yes, it's called luchi. So if you've ever been to an Indian restaurant and you bring out those puffy breads, that's what it is.
Wonderful. Yeah, fingers crossed. Hey, you rolled the dice on making your own pasta yesterday, and it paid off. I'm excited to see how the bread turns out.
Thank you.
Awesome.
My mom was always cooking. She was a stay-at-home mom, so being in the kitchen I loved, but I didn't pick up her love for making desserts, unfortunately.
Chloe, how are you?
Good. How are you guys?
We're good. We're intrigued. So is that going to be going in the oven as well? You about to roast that up,
so I
or
have this
what do we
over
got?
here. Got my butternut squash and a ton of spices in there.
Ooh.
Gonna make like almost soup with it for the laksa. I've been cooking since I was 3. My mom taught me how to make chocolate chip cookies. I've just been cooking since then. It's my job. I own a restaurant, so I'm constantly cooking, but I love it. It's just second nature to me.
Well, tell us a bit about your dish.
Went to a fabulous Israeli vegan cafe.
Okay.
And had a sandwich I'd never had before called sabich. Yeah. So I made it for my daughter, and she said, "This is fire."
Okay.
And I said,
Okay,
well,
and that's
is that what the kids are saying?
That's
these
what
days?
they
Is that
say.
good? Is that good? She's
That's
like, yeah,
listen,
you're making this again.
I might throw some that's fire as well. So
I'll take it.
I am excited to
These
try.
kids these days.
Yes.
My dad was in the Air Force. We traveled around a lot. So my dad was in Saudi Arabia, and he introduced us to tabbouleh, for instance. We were in Germany. We learned all about bratkartoffeln.
Hey, it's gonna be a surprise to us all, even me.
Chef Ria, what do we got cooking today?
West African okra stew. And then I'm also doing a chickpea gyro with a cucumber dill tzatziki sauce. You like doing the two dishes. I didn't even kind of really think about being over ambitious behind it.
Wow, so the confidence is high in the kitchen today. Couldn't decide.
I couldn't decide. It was really hard to decide today. Like, I'm not even being funny. It was extremely hard.
Yeah, I would imagine it would be.
I was excited just to try one of your dishes, but now that we know we got a double header coming up, I'm gonna make some more room in my stomach. Chefs, we are just under 30 minutes left.
I need a Band-Aid after this.
Oh.
Burning nudes. Anybody have cinnamon?
I got cinnamon.
Like, there's no real spatula. Like, I've been looking all over for a spatula. I went to one side, the other side, no spatula. This rubber one, that's how it burned, and I've got to start over.
Oh,
and I don't have
no.
I feel better.
When it gets hot in the kitchen, I cool myself off with a nice refreshing every time.
Dang, that's good.
How you feeling, Chloe? Wheels are turning?
I'm ready.
You're ready to plate?
I'm too ready.
You're too ready?
Yeah.
So should tomorrow's challenge be 60 minutes?
No.
Because Chloe's looking done.
Yo, is
Tomorrow's challenge be
is this a cooking scar? I don't know if it's a different kind of scar, but if that's a cooking scar, bro, I will say I have burned myself many a times. I do, a lot of accidents happen in a kitchen, let me tell you.
60 minutes?
No.
Because Chloe's looking done. She's twiddling her thumbs.
I'm not saying anything.
I saw her with a magazine over by her station, just flipping through it.
I'll just taste it for the 6th time.
All right, my friends, we got 1 minute left. Our taste buds are looking for a passport. We're going around the world.
Sweating a little bit at this point.
We're at 30 seconds. Put those final garnishes on. Here we go, 10 seconds. 5.
Okay.
3, 2,
Ooh.
1. Here we go, gang. Hands up. Put them up in the air like you don't care. Because time is up.
I think it's still anyone's game. I think anyone can win.
Pulled it together. It was rough, but I pulled it together.
Like I said, everything went smoothly today, so feeling good going in.
All right, chefs, that's another 75 minutes down here at the Top Vegan Kitchen at Mitchell Hall. We're excited to taste your internationally inspired dishes. And I think if you're ready, we're gonna start with Rhea.
So that is okra stew. So it's just okra, tomatoes. It has a very spicy broth.
Ooh, look at the color on this okra here, on the sauce. Ooh, look at that color. Yo, because we have Assyrian dishes, we have an okra dish as well. And like, it's all about the like color of the tomato. I feel like that's kind of the thing. And then she made an okra dish and she made like a salad.
So just want to give you guys a heads up. You may need to chug some water in between.
Okay.
This is a gluten-free gyro. So you've got the chickpeas, you've got the tzatziki sauce.
That's a bold move. So many people struggled with one dish over in 75 minutes yesterday.
Yesterday was a tough day for me. So today I wanted to make sure that I just really brought even more of my best foot forward.
The texture is wonderful.
Yeah, I'll make it a piece of this.
And I like spicy. So it's hard to make things too spicy for me.
Okay. I was pretty much pleased with the feedback, pleased with the suggestions. They liked them both. And so that really made my heart go
Tell us about what we're about to inhale.
I made a homemade fettuccine with pesto and a nutty, seedy kind of Parmesan topper.
You took international cooking that, a lot of people don't associate with veganism because so much pasta is butter and egg.
It's not traditionally something you see necessarily be vegan and show that you can enjoy those carb, rich kind of Italian flavors.
God, you nailed the pasta.
Thank you.
It's got such a nice chew.
If I didn't have so many other plates to get to, I'd probably...
Chat says this is honestly torture right now. I am so hungry. I made my little vegan vegetarian dolma yesterday. I ate it this morning. It was delicious. I'm so happy with myself. And now I'm hungry again. Same.
Just pick this up with my hand and take a bite of it like an apple because it's so light.
Thought it went well. I was a little nervous, but I got great reviews, so I'm hoping that shows in the results.
Please, chef, tell us about what you made.
So today we have...
I was doubting her soup, but that looks really good. Because I was like, a soup? You got to be good on soups. I do love me a soup. I made myself a vegan soup and I made too much of it and I stored it in the freezer and then I've been taking out portions of it and eating it. There's nothing better than I really hate food waste. I have I try really hard to minimize food waste at to the point where I use every part of stuff. I use, I don't really even peel skins of things. I try to just use everything I can when I make food. And if you ever over make food, one of my favorite things is to store it and just take it out a few weeks later and eat it again. And you'll remember oh, not only did I not have to cook today, but I remember oh yeah, I made something that was so good a while back. So this soup looks really, really good. I would eat that.
Have a Thai butternut squash laksa. There's some broccoli and sugar snap peas in the base. And I recommend squeezing that lime on top before you take a bite.
Give us a little squeeze.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah. Rice noodles are cooked well.
Oh, rice noodle soup.
Something like this, I would maybe even throw in a little bit of spice.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe with a hotter spice or something like that.
She did no spice?
I might have
even throw in a little bit of spice.
Yeah, I agree. Maybe with a hotter spice or something like that. I might have backed off the cinnamon, but it's very good.
They wanted more spice, and there was chili oil drizzled over the whole thing, so maybe they just didn't get a bite.
I feel like we're underestimating the judges, maybe because of the paleness of his skin, but I feel like chili oil is not enough. Chili oil is okay, I love Croatia. I love living here. I'm so happy they let me stay here. I love this country. But with peace and love, they label things spicy that are literally sweet. I bought a salsa the other day thinking, okay, let me try a salsa. Prepackaged salsa, vegan, whatever. I buy it. It says spicy on it. There's two, mild and spicy. I bought the spicy one. I go home, girls, I'm not even fucking with you. It tastes like they poured a whole bowl of sugar in there. And I'm like, how is this spicy? Explain it to me. How is this spicy? It's the most confusing. So I got up while I was watching my cooking show, got up and I was like, fuck this. Put a pico de gallo together. No cilantro because I'm fucking tortured over here. Okay, no cilantro here. But I made a quick pico de gallo. Boom, better. Put some fucking spice in there. But like literally, Croatia, even the chips will be like spicy chips. And then we'll eat it, nothing. When I go to restaurants here, I'm like, do you have anything spicy? They don't. They don't do spice here, and it's very confusing. I don't understand it. But they do have, I think they go for maybe like the seafood. We're by the sea, obviously. Maybe it's meant to be like refreshing. I will say I've had some really great fish here. I've had some really great pasta here. I've had some really great dessert here. But no spice.
The chili oil in it or something? Not sure.
Chef Teresa, please tell us about your creation.
So what I have made for you is an Israeli sandwich called sabik. And
with peace and love, how is that a sandwich if I can't pick it up? You mean a sandwich I eat with a fork and a knife?
So what I have made for you is an Israeli sandwich called sabik. And it is a sandwich that has fried eggplant, many other things as well. In fact, I counted 8 layers.
Wow. With 8 layers, I'm expecting true depth of flavor. But the pita is so fluffy, and the eggplant just melts in your mouth.
Okay, does look good. Does look good.
The texture is incredible. I really enjoyed.
Held up too.
Yeah, the eggplant held up. The pita held up.
Yeah.
The slaws coming through.
Nice
and that back
texture.
and out. Yeah, great.
And of course,
great
the colors are
tanginess.
beautiful.
I think, as your daughter would say, fire.
Oh, awesome.
I
can't give the privilege of saying that.
Executed well. I think they thought it was plated beautifully. So yeah, I was pretty proud of myself.
Chef, please tell us about your dish.
So today I made butter cauliflower. It's on top of a cilantro chutney surrounded by white rice.
What was the inspiration for this dish?
I just really like butter cauliflower.
Okay. And sometimes that's all it takes. You just
I do
really
too,
like something and you gotta use it. So I would have loved more of that butter cauliflower.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And maybe, as far as aesthetics goes, drizzle the cilantro sauce over the top.
Could definitely use some improvement with the presentation of it. The judges gave fantastic advice that I will definitely consider anytime I make that dish in the future.
Chef Noel, please tell us about your dish.
We have a lentil chickpea curry with quinoa, so I decided to go the Indian route. And I wanted to do something that had a lot of nutrition along with flavor as well too.
Wonderful. You want to dig in? Yes, please.
I want to make sure that everything is healthy, nutritious, and it's fun to eat as well too.
I'm also a big believer in food as medicine, and this is acting as an incredible antidepressant right now.
There you go.
Nice. Hello.
Incredible.
Makes you happy.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think I layered my dish very well today.
Beautiful.
It had the aroma, had all of the spices. The judges gave me really good feedback.
Chef Christian, tell us about what you made.
I love me some plating. The last 2 plates, I think, were the prettiest, but then I really like the okra plating as well. But like, this is a fun plating. I'm not sure there's a rule with plating that's interesting. Plating that's colorful, always, I love it. But also, is it is this functional? Like, are the sauces on the side dippable? You know what I mean? Like, there's a rule with certain people that they feel like everything on the plate should be edible or functional. And I do think there should be a functionality and an edibility to it. So I don't know if the sauces, I don't know if it's too much, but it's beautiful. Like, I love the colors. I can't hate on the colors.
So what you have here is a tofu vegetable pad thai with a spicy sweet peanut sauce.
You are dedicating this dish to some people in your life.
My 2 best friends, Chris and Mike, where the dish kind of originated from, and my girlfriend Merciana, it's her favorite dish that we make together.
We're bringing her on for season 2.
Yeah, let's do it.
That's delicious. But this is my favorite way to enjoy tofu. This was probably the best pad thai I've had, maybe ever.
Wait, how is the tofu incorporated in?
We make friends, crises.
Tell us about what you made.
Wait, is the okay, I see it. It's like chunks squared, tofu, and then the pasta. Okay, I got it.
The dish kind of originated. Yeah, let's do it.
That's delicious. But this is my favorite way to enjoy tofu. This was probably the best pad thai I've had, maybe ever. It was incredible.
Thank you so much.
You did some great work.
I can definitely tell today everyone kind of elevated their level of cooking.
All right, chefs. Well, that was a pretty incredible round of dishes. Everyone really stepped it up from yesterday.
True.
I might want to go back for some seconds for some of these plates.
Yum.
But unfortunately, before we do any of that, Chef Stephanie and I are going to step out for a moment, deliberate. She's going to have some wonderful news for the winner. And after she leaves, I'm left here to be the bad guy.
Well, today was interesting. Everybody definitely bought their A game.
I think the stay-at-home dad is going home. I think butter cauliflower is going home. Everybody had deep color to their dish. Everybody had like, I feel like everyone looked like they were packed with flavor except for him. And it was international. They specifically requested spice. I feel like realistically stay-at-home dad has to go, but we love him.
The judges seemed pleased, so I mean, all of it still is, you know, we're still waiting on deliberations.
I loved Christian's presentation. I think that's something you would see in a magazine. As far as what I would want to get from a restaurant, Noelle's is the best for me.
We don't want anyone to go home. We've all gotten close, even though this is only the second day we've known each other.
Oh, this is impossible.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one. They absolutely stepped it up from the first challenge, and that was an incredible round of dishes.
Yeah, it was really impressive. Really like the Israeli salad sandwich.
Oh man, it was
Salad
absolute
sandwich.
depth of flavor. So many different styles of cooking.
She knocked it out of the park. It was fire.
It was fire. And let's be honest, it was fire. Enjoyed Christian's pad thai, really flavorful. Ria's 2 dishes, that West African stew was an absolute dynamite.
It was killer. I could have eaten the whole bowl.
And you know, as far as bottom 2 goes, I think I think Jeff, I would have loved to see more on his
Certainly
plate.
some more color. I think you and I were both on the same page about the cilantro sauce being on the bottom.
Not that I thought it was a bad dish, but I think Chloe kind of found herself in that middle to back area, which it was tasty dish. Everything was
I
cooked
thought
well.
it had a little bit too much going on.
Oh.
Well, that was a tough little talk we just had.
It was very tough.
I think the first words out of Chef Stephanie's mouth was, this is going to be impossible. Both determining a winner and our loser for today. There were no bad dishes at all. The 3 dishes that impressed us the most today, we'll start with Ria,
Oh, goodness, what?
Teresa,
I think today went amazingly well.
and Chef Noelle.
I think it's gonna go well in my favor. I focused on health and flavor today.
Honestly, I feel like I should win today. They said it was the best pad thai they've ever had. I tasted my dish. I tasted everyone else's dish. I still think I have the best flavors.
Chef Stephanie, if you'd like to.
Oh, are they going around eating each other's food at the end? Because that would be kind of fun. Because I never get to see that. Like, you know, when you watch cooking shows and you always wonder, like, oh, it kind of sucks that everyone can't taste each other's food. I kind of like the idea that as they're deliberating, they're going around eating each other's food.
To announce our winner for today.
I would love to. The winner today is Teresa.
I am definitely one to be kind of humble and not be too maybe self-congratulatory.
It was absolutely delightful.
Okay, Chad said I'd love to watch it too. Watch it though, like watch them eat each other's food. I would watch that. That should be like behind the scenes extras.
Gotta figure out how to make it now so I can make it at home. It was so good and so fresh.
So many different components on the plate that were cooked to perfection.
And visually stunning.
Visually stunning. It had, you know, for every layer that you had built up, there was 2 layers of flavor along with it. Wonderful job. And if you guys would like to give one extra round of applause for Chef Stephanie.
I'm kind of shook. Like, how good could it have been? But it looked good. But like, I don't know. Maybe I just like things that are more. I don't know. I think my brain. I'm such a savory girl. Like I am. Whatever is the spiciest, savoriest, brownest. Like when the soup is brown, when the dark. You know what I'm saying? Like, and her sandwich looked good. But my brain can't fathom that it would be better. But maybe that's just my flavor palette, you know?
Sending us her palette today. It was an
Thank
absolute
you,
pleasure,
everybody.
Chef.
It was so wonderful. All of you did beautifully. Thank you.
you so much. Again, there wasn't a bad dish today, and that's what made it so hard. We talked ad nauseum. What'd you like about this? If this person would have made this edit or that edit. So many dishes were one component away from reaching the top level. And after deliberating with the chef, unfortunately, our bottom 2 dishes today were Jeff and Chloe.
I know they talked about the spice and the cinnamon being a little bit too forward, so I'm not too surprised that I was in the bottom 2.
I hope I get to stay for the next round because, you know, I've got the next 2 dishes in mind and I know they will be fantastic.
Now you both, again, wonderfully tasty dishes. I think, Jeff, what we wanted was more of that wonderful buttered cauliflower. It was delicious. And Chloe, same thing, we're just 1 piece off. There was so much great texture. There was so much great flavor.
Whoever goes home, I'm probably going to tear up today. We're kind of like a close-knit family just after 2 days.
But unfortunately, the chef, that will no longer be in the mix for Top Vegan. It's Chef Jeff.
Aw,
So sorry, my friend.
Jeff.
Everybody give him a round of applause.
Love you, Jeff.
Jeff
We love a stay-at-home
was
dad.
Kind of a quiet contributor, but a really, really nice, personable guy. So it was definitely hard to see him go home.
It's getting harder every day. We've known each other for a short time, but yeah, you really bond with people through the fire and the flames of battling out in the kitchen.
Damn.
Jeff is an astounding cook. He rolled the dice back-to-back days, making his own pasta, making his own bread. Tonight, I want you to go home, get some rest, be prepared for tomorrow. We're hitting plant-based protein. We're gonna answer the question as old as time itself. Where do vegans get their protein? Tomorrow, you'll show the world.
Let's
Thank
go.
you, chefs. Give yourself a round of applause. It was a great day in the kitchen.
For me, it wasn't unexpected. You know, everyone else did such a good job, and just something else to go practice and get better at, and it's all good.
The title of top vegan would mean more to me than the cash, though. Just the validation that, you know, my skills are up to par with other vegan chefs.
I have been testing this recipe on my daughter to perfect it, and she's going to be very excited because she was giving me pointers and suggestions, so she'll be extremely excited.
Okay, episode 3.
Welcome in, chefs. Come on in. Welcome back, welcome back. Another great day in the Top Vegan Kitchen.
Yesterday, we had another grueling 75-minute challenge where you guys presented us with 7 incredible dishes. And it was just as hard for me as it was you guys to see Chef Jeff leave us.
Jess says, this is fun. This is so fun. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I know this isn't like trending or typical, but I love cooking shows. And I just feel like we've been talking about veganism all week. It's a nice way to kind of wrap up the conversation. And it's a good way for us to remind ourselves, like, you can always improve on your cooking skills and your relationship with food. You know, it makes me want to cook. It makes me want to like improve my relationship with food, especially since I'm not buying meat right now and I'm not like, engaging in non-vegan recipes. It's like, oh, this is inspiring.
But unfortunately, that's how things go here in the Top Vegan Kitchen. But for today's challenge, we are ditching regionality, cultured cuisines, and we're taking it back to answer a question as old as time itself. Where do vegans get their protein? I could get into the facts about a handful of pumpkin seeds having more protein than that same ounce of steak, but people don't want numbers. They want to see it on the plate in front of them. So that's what we're gonna do today. Your task will be 75 minutes, one stunning dish that features incredible plant-based protein. And to help me judge today's challenge, Chef was voted top chef in Columbus 2019, nominated 2020, 2021, 2022, former owner of Ambrose and Eve, written about in the New York Times, Chicago Tribune. It goes on and on. Contestant on Cutthroat Kitchen. Please let me.
Wait.
About in the New York Times, Chicago Tribune. It goes on and on.
Is that Bill Murray? Am I crazy? Doesn't that look like Bill Murray? I don't think it is, but it kind of looks like him to me.
Contestant on Cutthroat Kitchen. Please let me welcome Chef Katie Randazzo.
All right, let's go, baby.
Yeah, thank you so much
It
for joining
is?
us today.
Thank you for having me. Was that Bill Murray? That's hilarious.
Well, today we've got an incredible challenge. We're gonna be doing plant-based proteins. And if I understand correctly, you grew up eating a lot of plant-based foods?
Yeah, so my mom was like one of those weird, like hippie, vegan, alternative people before it was like really a thing.
Yeah, it's still on the cutting edge
Still
of
very much, yeah.
hippiness.
Yes, exactly. Like I couldn't trade my lunch with anybody when I was growing up. But I really appreciate it now as like a chef, growing up that way and having a better understanding of vegetables and what to use for proteins. And
You know what? The guy, he's a fitness guy. He's always in the vegan documentaries because he's been vegan his whole life. He's never had meat. Like, I'm too damn curious as a person, bro. I'm so damn curious as a person. I don't know if I could imagine being a lifelong vegan just because I'm like, I gotta know what things are like. Like, a part of my brain's like, I just gotta know what it's like. Not everything, but like kind of some, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, Chad says, did you see the Sauce Stash posted a flaming hot snack chickpea recipe video? Ooh, I did not. We'll have to check that out. I did buy some non-cheese puffs, so like corn puffs, and I'm gonna turn that into hopefully some puff Cheetos. I'm gonna start experimenting with the mix. My partner's been trying to buy like spices and things that go into hot Cheetos to the best of our ability to kind of like mimic the taste of it. It won't be the same, but it will be something.
to be able to provide really delicious food for vegetarians and vegans in my restaurant.
So, once again, we'll have 75 minutes. At the end of that, we will need each of you to present us with one stunning, plant-forward protein dish. And I think if you guys are ready, that 75 minutes starts now.
Don't be locked.
think we're all pretty much on the same level of expertise and like what we're bringing to the table.
Do you have the olive oil?
It's right here.
Oh, cool.
People from all walks of life and all experiences. It's kind of nice having that here, and I feel like it's anyone's to win at this point.
Has anyone seen tomato paste? Just kidding, found it.
I was a little upset. Chad had said it was the best pad thai he's ever had. So I felt like I should have been at least in the top 3 yesterday.
Everybody find what they were looking for in the pantry?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Did you find that tomato paste, Chloe?
I did.
Okay, good. I thought I hid it from you, but I didn't.
You know when he said that Chef said it was the best pad thai that he'd ever have? Well, he wasn't the one judging, right? It was the guest chef, I think, right? So the guest chef has to be the one to pick the top 3, I think, right? So it wouldn't make sense. Like his opinion doesn't matter, but I understand. Like I get what he's saying. He feels like he really killed it. He should have been in the top 3, but it is what it is.
Ria, let me know when you need this blender. I'm done for now.
Okay, thank you. I got a little bit of time.
What would you make?
When I think plant-based protein, my number 1 option is tempeh. 1 block, 32 grams. I love to chop them up for chicken tenders or sandwiches.
I would probably do an almond curry, and then I would probably, for the protein, do either chickpeas or tofu in there.
Christian, blender.
Tempeh is one of the items I have not seen yet. So that's kind of interesting. I haven't seen that in the store yet. And I will say, I saw a video on TikTok. I shop at a lot of, DM is a health food / drugstore. I don't know what to call it. Here in Croatia, it originates in Germany, and there's a lot in Croatia. And I saw a TikTok of somebody at their local DM, and they had so many other vegan options that we do not have at my DM. And now, of course, there's other DMs around Croatia I could go check out. I'm going to have to spend like a day out on the town going to different stores to find different vegan food one day. But tempeh is one that I haven't seen yet.
The motor and the lid, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the secret. Thank you.
Work smarter, not harder.
True that. Something I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I love the hard work. The smart work, I ain't so good at. 15 minutes down in the kitchen. You got just a few before we come around and start harassing you about your dish.
Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
Okay. Wonderful. We are so curious about what you're putting together today.
I have a couple ideas, but I want to hear.
Okay, so I'm gonna do a chili with cornbread and sour cream.
Hold it.
But I want to use tofu in a non-conventional way, and that's what's gonna go into the sour cream.
So I'm gonna do a walnut meat and mushroom blend sloppy joe stuffed peppers.
Nice.
And then with the cashew cream cheese on top. And then I'm also going to do another version, a little bit more savory.
I would say just be careful doing 2 dishes and make sure that you don't stretch your focus from one to the other.
Yeah.
Make sure you can concentrate.
I'm a little confused with the double dish decision, because then like what if you make 1 great dish and 1 bad dish? You know, and what are they rating the dish on? Like, how do you rate 2 dishes when it's a 1 dish competition? It feels like she's doing too much. But then I wonder like if that's like thinking she'll get like a better grade in school. But what if it like ends up lowering her grade because, you know, 1 dish isn't as, I don't know. It feels like a risk.
And put as much energy into both of them.
What do you got going today? I see you've got some cubed tempeh.
I do.
Cooking in some heat.
And then here you have a Puerto Rican rice and beans.
I love rice and beans.
Wow, we got some fajitas cooking back here as well.
Don't know where my blender of
So you had a sauce. You had a green sauce.
Oh my God.
Ria, where did you put my sauce that I had in the blender?
I didn't have your sauce.
You ain't touch it?
Oh my God.
Did you accuse me of taking your sauce?
Oh my God. The drama.
No, we're looking for a green sauce.
Where the green sauce went.
I needed the blender. I told him I didn't need it first off. He could use it first, and I would go grab it when I was ready for it.
I'm pretty sure she asked me if she could use the blender, but I thought she only needed the motor.
Oh, shoot. It wasn't empty?
Oh.
I thought you were done.
No, I wasn't done. I was using it.
For real now?
Oh no.
Sorry. You handed me the motor with a blender top that didn't
sorry.
work. Are you good? You want me to help you make it?
In the moment, I certainly.
I feel like there was a deep miscommunication there, because didn't he say the blender's available if you need to use it? Which to me implies both the top and the bottom of the blender. But then if she poured out a whole fucking jug of sauce, how do you pour out a whole thing of sauce and think there's nothing? There's what, you know, residue is different than a whole sauce. That feels like such an interesting miscommunication.
Certainly was rattled. I was flustered. I was nervous.
So when I grabbed it, it wasn't like a whole lot of sauce. So I'm like, okay, I'll just rinse it real quick and I'll use it, not realizing he didn't have the opportunity to pull his sauce out. And I I mean, I literally felt terrible.
Here, maybe just clear out your blender when you're done. We'll bring it back over. Give him some time to refire it.
I know Rhea probably felt like, oh crap, I hope no one thinks that I sabotage Christian. And then I also understood Christian's frustration because it's like, I was using that for something.
I don't know, it happens, but honestly, they handled it the best way that they could have given the situation.
There would never be any intentional sabotage or anything like that in the kitchen.
Don't let this get you down. If you got time to refire that sauce, hit it, brother. We got all the confidence in the world.
That's when I was just like apologizing again. I asked him if he wanted me to help him remake it or if there was anything I could do
Yeah,
to
yeah,
help
yeah.
fix the situation.
Bad communication on my part, probably. I should have been a little more vocal. Like, I need what's left in that blender.
30 minutes.
Yikes.
Final 30, chefs.
We're actually
Okay.
at 29. But,
Okay.
You know.
Yeah. We're on New York minute off. Yeah.
I'm a liar.
You're not getting that minute back.
Sergio Flair.
I haven't seen anyone tasting anything yet.
And that's been
Oh.
something. We've had some challenges where
Oh, no one's tasting their food? You gotta taste your food.
people haven't tasted yet.
Listen to me. Even when my mom taught me to make dolma growing up, even though it's like raw meat, rice, and tomato and all the spices, you gotta taste it. You gotta put it on your tongue and just get the flavor and then spit it back out if you want. But like, you gotta taste it. Okay, you gotta taste you gotta taste your food, bros.
And they bring it.
Everything as you're going.
Yeah.
I'm running out of time. That's what's going on in my head. I'm nervous.
This dish is very near and dear to my heart. It's my girlfriend's Puerto Rican rice and bean recipe,
Ooh.
so hoping to make her proud today.
Do you know why you only put 239 beans in chili?
I don't.
Because if you put one more, it'd be too farty.
What? No.
Can they come back
Stupid. Stop. This is so funny.
Proud today.
Do you know why you only put 239 beans in chili?
I don't.
Because if you put one more, it'd be too farty.
Can they come back tomorrow?
Co-host for season 2.
Oh, story of my life. What did I do that? I did that the other day with something. I was pouring spice and the whole thing poured it, and I just thought, well, you know, here we go. Damn.
Fuck, okay? Fuck.
The lid, the top wasn't on, and he went to dump a little in, and like half the jar came out.
Way too much spice, so we're gonna redo it.
That's like,
Oh,
it's a common
damn.
misconception that people think chefs eat really well at home too, because like, I mean, I eat like shit when I go home.
After tasting
Ooh, hey, that's a good insight. This idea that like as a chef, you make great food for your customers, but then you go home and eat a PBJ, which by the way, PBJ be fire. One of my default snacks is like a PB&J. That's like one of my new things I've incorporated back into my diet because it's easy, it's simple, straight to the point. You know, I use a hazelnut butter instead of peanut butter. I've been off peanut butter for like many, many years, but like hazelnut butter, delicious, you know? But yeah, Chaz is eating a PBJ right now. PBJ is underrated. I feel like adults underrate PBJ because they think it's like for kids, but kids can kick rocks because it's good.
all of our wonderful, incredible, diverse international dishes last night. I went home and had a bowl of cereal.
Nice.
Today I was so nervous still. The nerves still come.
Everything I do is completely mapped out with precision. I'm very much a planner.
I hope things are coming together. Taste, taste, taste.
Oh, Chat says PB&J on tortilla though. I'll be so real with you. I kind of thought my family was the only one. My family, I love PB&J on tortilla. I legit have never heard anyone else eat it that way. We might be twins because I love PB&J on a tortilla. I don't know why. It's so good. It's so good.
If you need to, if something's not working out, don't let it sink your dish.
Also, if it's not good, don't put it on the plate.
Can I use your onion base real
Can I
quick?
borrow your apple cider vinegar?
Go for it. You still using your base?
Yes, 1 second.
It's like I'm freaking out, but I
This is where you overthink everything.
Yeah, it's like this
You
is
add
bad.
stuff on, you take stuff off. Just go with your gut instinct. Like, don't overcomplicate it.
We're excited to try it, Chef. Smells great.
do some onion petals instead of onion rings.
Onion petals? I love onion petals. We did those at Preston's.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the bread?
The yeast was not as active as I'm used to having.
Oh, look, Christian and Rhea chopping it up in the back.
Jimmy's a
Oh,
great
that's
cook.
tough.
I'm concerned about her.
One that you got arrested. Like, I feel terrible. Like, I would never do that.
I know you weren't trying to be malicious.
Like,
I was
once
just
you're
like,
done, once it's empty, once it's clean.
Before this is so bottle, you got it.
And now she's apologizing. She's already got 2 dishes in her mind.
Oh, Chad says, okay, this is important. I was going to ask you, you said I'm eating a slightly grilled PB&J right now. I was going to ask you toasted or not toasted because I have to toast my bread. Soggy bread is not a thing. I don't like it. So same with the tortilla, just like in the oven for a few, flip it. I use the baking rack in the oven, like a baking rack. I just throw shit on it and I'm like toast and then I call it a day, but I like a toasted PB&J. Toasted.
And now she's trying to rectify a relationship.
So my peppers burned while I was talking to the judges, so I have to remake my peppers.
You guys have 5 minutes left.
By the way, when the people come around and they talk to people while they're cooking, I'm going to be real with you. It would fuck up my whole train of thought. I would 100% make a mistake because you're talking to me. But I guess that's the point of being a chef, is that you have to be able to have those conversations because you're working in a kitchen with a lot of people. But I could not. To save my life, like when my partner knows, like he can always tell when I'm like in it and he's talking, he's like, you haven't heard anything I said. I was like, shh, I'm thinking about spices. Like I can't. Like I mess up. Like I will mess up something.
All right, contestants, final minute. You have got to get that food on a plate.
Behind. Between.
30 seconds, team. 5, 4,
3,
2, 1. Hands up, chefs. I want to see those palms. They look great. Great palms, everyone.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I was more confident. Today, I'm kind of like, it can go either way.
You know, it was a crazy day today. I think it went pretty well overall. It was definitely some adversity today.
I had no idea there was drama. Not one iota of any thought, didn't hear anything. I was in the zone.
Wow. She's giving me autism vibes.
All right, chefs.
Love her.
Another 75 minutes down
Just
here in
for
the
that.
kitchen at Mitchell Hall. Tensions were high, sweat was everywhere. There was drama, there was intrigue. Christian, please tell us about your dish.
Puerto Rican rice and beans with a homemade sofrito on the bottom, sauteed peppers and onions.
Why did you decide to go vegan?
2 of my best friends were vegan before me, and they were speaking about the health benefits. And once I started and got on that vegan train, I went back and tried to eat meat, and I got sick. And
I think that's what they say, right? Once you go plant with meat, you can't. I don't know, it's something like that.
Nice try.
I thought I'd try to sneak in another branding opportunity. You kept a level head, and you continue to level up.
You have the lime as a garnish, but just sprinkle a little lime juice on top, or maybe a little bit of lime zest. Could have
I
elevated
did
it.
do that, but I could have used a little more. I agree. I think today's my redemption. I really do. I feel like I had the least amount of criticism.
All right, Chef Noel, please describe the dish to us.
So I want to utilize everything in my dish. So there's about 41 grams of protein in that bowl there.
Gotta get some of that sauce. I don't think you would eat this and immediately think of how healthy it is, because it's got a lot of those elements of Chipotle, the really well cooked veg, the creaminess of the avocado.
So I do think this is very good. I do think it is under seasoned. I loved your sauces. I thought they were fantastic. But I wanted the meat and the beans to stick out.
I actually needed about like a few more minutes, and I burned my peppers, so I had to
She was chopping up with us.
with you guys.
So what you're saying is it's my fault.
Yes.
So you're saying the real jerk sauce here was us?
You have to stay razor focused. So I'm not gonna blame the judges for my burnt peppers. That was just a joke in there.
That is a big ass sandwich.
Oh yeah, big sandwich energy has entered the building.
Yo, this girl loves sandwiches.
That is a big ass.
Yo, I'm gonna cry. That looks so good. Yo, that looks so good.
Oh yeah, big sandwich energy has entered the building.
Exactly.
Teresa, please tell us more about the dish you've prepared for us
Okay,
today.
so this is a banh mi sandwich, a Vietnamese sandwich, traditionally on a baguette. So I made the baguette. There's also tofu for the protein.
Well, those are the ones that eat elbows and ass out.
I think you guys are gonna need it.
Okay, I'll be real with you. I'm gonna say this out loud, but I don't mean it this way. Sometimes I think the vegans, this is my impression so far. I feel like the vegans who go vegan for ethical reasons, I don't know if y'all are having the same amount of fun in your kitchens, because, you know, their attitudes are so poor in my comment sections. But I feel like, you know what I mean? When it's about enjoying the food, nothing gets you more excited for vegan food than people enjoying the food. Because, like, that's the worst part of the reputation is, like, everyone's willing. I think that's why I was so confused when I did the vegan thing and everyone's like, vegan food's so bad, da 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 da. And I, to be honest, thought that my whole life. I did. I thought that my whole life, like these people aren't having a relationship with their food. And a lot of meat eaters pride themselves on having really good relationships with their food. Not all, obviously, but the ones when you're born into an ethnic background where food is tied to culture, our food is like really important to us. It's tradition. It's passed down. The flavors are universal. When you go to your aunties and our uncles' houses, you get variations on traditional dishes. So you fall in love with the like nostalgic memory. It's like ratatouille. Ratatouille when he eats the ratatouille. Like it's like going back to his childhood, right? It's like going back to your childhood. That's why there can be a disconnect. That's why I'm interested. Like none of these vegans have talked about the ethics around eating animals. Like even this guy, they said, I don't know their gender, Caitlin. The chef said, why did you go vegan? And he didn't say because of animals. He said the health benefits. And I know a lot of vegans, again, the vegans in my comment sections were confusing me because they're like, you're not vegan if you're going vegan for like health reasons. You're vegan because it's a philosophy. I get what you're saying, but the world doesn't revolve. That's like not the only reason people go vegan. But also it feels like, that's why I'm saying, can I not call myself vegan even if my whole diet is vegan, unless it's for the strict philosophy sense? That's why I'm so confused about like, why are they being so militant if at the end of the day they get what they want, which is like less people being meat eaters, I don't know. It's like very confusing to me, I think, like why you're being so black and white on this like construct you've created, but you do you, I guess.
Need a bath after this. I mean, the flavor profile is really good. You've got acid. It's seasoned well. You have heat.
You really get a feel for how the dish came together.
It's really good. And it's impressive that you fucking made bread.
Even with the elevated difficulty levels and some lethargic yeast.
Wait, she made that bread? It wasn't even prepackaged?
I'll talk to the yeast back there.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, we gotta pick it up.
Yeah.
So I think the thing that probably saved me, the fact that everything was from scratch.
Good old-fashioned Philly cheesesteak here, homemade seitan steak, some grilled peppers and onions, cashew cheese sauce, so more protein in that cheese sauce, some onion petals fried with a little bit of oatmeal and polenta.
I really like the texture. Texture of the polenta, the crunch. Horseradish sauce is delicious.
I like an onion petal over an onion ring.
easier.
It's easier to eat. And when you eat the onion ring, the batter falls off and you pull the onion out. And
Yeah.
And you're like sitting there like Lady in the Tramp,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, the seasoning is super.
I thought the cheese sauce was great. I really liked it. I do wish the onion petals were like a little bit more coated.
But there's something, again, to be said. You could set this down in front of anyone, vegan or not, and I think they'd dig into that sandwich.
100%.
And
I felt like my
I love her braids.
critique went better today than yesterday.
all right, chef, please tell us about your dish.
I wanted to do 3 different types of what I think are very common proteins in a plant-based diet, which are the tofu, the tempeh, and beans. So I have 3 different types of beans in there as well, but I wanted to take them and do something maybe not as traditional. I calculated that all in all, there's probably about 45 grams of protein in that tiny little dish there.
Yeah, I love chili. The bite that I had with the jalapeno was incredible. I think overall in those seasonings, just a little bit more heat.
I think texture is really important in food. I think people forget about it very often. And so adding that little bit of tempeh in there for a little bit of extra bite was really good. The heat I'm getting is really nice on the back end. Like, it could be a little spicier, but also like white people don't like spicy food that much, right? So like you were playing for your audience.
I'm one of those.
Yeah.
Mild sauce is like too much.
Yes.
Cornbread didn't get as done as I would have liked. The chili, they said it could have been a little spicier.
All right, Chef Rhea, 2 challenges, 4 dishes. You just can't get enough.
Oh.
Tell us about what you made.
See, I don't like the contradicting flavors. Like, I don't like do you know what I'm saying? I don't like that. Like, okay, so here's like a sweet, looks like chia seeds, maybe yogurt, whatever, fruits. And then here's what fucking looks delicious as fuck because it's got a little dolma energy to it. You know what I mean? It looks fucking good. You know what I mean? That looks good. But yeah, I don't know why she's doing the two options. Now I'm conflicted. Chad says vegan for health. Veganism it's being proven time and time again that the healthiest people are on plant-based or vegan diets. Like at the end of the day, if you want to change your health game, let's go. Vegan, plant-based, 100%. It is changing everything. It is changing everything for people. 30% less likely Alzheimer's, cancer, so many things. And in this world where cancer's on the rise and Alzheimer's I'm not having it, girl. I ain't having it, okay?
made for us.
So it was not supposed to be 2 dishes on purpose, but I did do today a stuffed pepper with a walnut meat mushroom blend. And then next to that, you have just a plain cashew.
I think Chad says 30% less likely. Apparently, according to the documentaries I watched, of course, I'm not a scientist, but that's the number that I thought was so fascinating. And of course, new studies will give us new information. And when that new data comes out, we'll move with those numbers. But that's like pretty significant for me. I'm like, wait, that's like a pretty big deal.
Yogurt bowl.
It's a little hard to eat.
Oh.
When I'm cooking stuff, I like to think like, how is this gonna eat? Is it gonna be messy for a person? And how's the vessel gonna get in? What's the vessel on the way it's gonna get into your mouth? But the flavor profile is very good.
It's a personal preference. I can get closer to burned or charred. My nickname's Chad Bear. My friends used to call me Charred Bear because they knew when I first went vegan, they knew if I was cooking tempeh because the fire alarm would be going off downstairs.
A little cleaner plating too. It's a little sloppy, but also I know you're like flustered because of everything that happened. And I get that, but you can see it on your plate as well.
So I just felt terrible, because although I know he said, hey, I can whip it back up in like 2 to 3 minutes, like I said before, he can't get that time back, and that could have been something else that could have went to something else for his item.
Well, it's tough. Well, you at least.
He bounced back.
Yeah, you bounced back. Got
He's
some
a little
breaks.
scary looking, but I don't think he's gonna hurt you.
Yeah. No, he was a great sport. I think you both did a good job. Again, when things go wrong in the kitchen or in life, sometimes those bad thoughts and beating ourselves up takes us further away from the goal.
They actually kind of thought it was somewhat good, which I was shocked. I was like, really?
Well, let's clap it up for Chef Katie one more time before we go out to deliberate. Before we go out, we're gonna have a few minutes out there. We'll chat. We'll have a top 2 dishes, and as you know, a bottom 2. One person is gonna get one step closer to $10,000 cash prize, business mentorship, and the title of top vegan. And unfortunately, one person is gonna get closer to home.
I didn't feel too confident about it, especially with not being able to season my meat and my beans the way that I should have.
I definitely tried to elevate my game today. Given all the adversity, it went pretty well.
This is gonna be another tough one. Shanley's chili. What'd you think about it?
I thought Shanley's chili was great. I was like super. It was balanced. It was composed. It was good.
We'll go across the table. Rhea.
To me, there was a lot of issues with Rhea. Number one, I don't think she should put that parfait up there at all whatsoever.
What about Chef Chloe? Her seitan Philly cheesesteak. It wasn't a bad use of seitan.
And she made it herself, which is great.
How about Chef Teresa across from her, the banh mi? You really enjoyed?
I did like the banh mi. I thought of all the dishes, hers was the most balanced.
And now Chef Noel. See that beautiful, bright pineapple bowl.
But it was like under-seasoned, it was under-balanced.
We've got Chef Christian. He was on the receiving end of Blendergate.
Yeah.
Kept a cool head, knocked out the sauce.
He needs to sweat more.
Yeah.
He didn't seem like he was like in the shits or in the weeds at all.
No, because he's confident. He got that vegan confidence, Chad says, would you still use or wear skins if you are vegan for health? I think that's why vegans prefer to call those following the diet plant-based. Wear skins? You mean like leather? Yeah. Fur. That's a good question. I guess I assumed that if you went vegan for, I don't know. That's a good question, I guess. Yeah, I guess if you're going vegan for health, you wouldn't need to like make sure your shampoos and conditioners and soaps and stuff are vegan. But I guess you'd go vegan for health. That's what you would say is like, oh, I'm going vegan for health. I'm going vegan for the environment. I'm going vegan for the animals, or I'm going vegan for all 3. I feel like realistically, if I went vegan, it would be vegan for all 3 because all 3 seem more motivational to me. I'm more motivated by the environment overall than livestock alone. Like going vegan for the animals is not enough for me to go vegan. Going vegan for my health could be a motivator, but vegan for environment and health and animals just seems like the trifecta for win. So I could see why vegans wouldn't want plant-based eaters to call themselves vegan. But I just think the word vegan has so much opportunity. And maybe I'm doing respectability politics in a way. I'll call myself out where I'm like, look, if you want more people to be vegan, you have to make it more accessible. And if you put all these fast and hard rules on veganism, people aren't going to get there. But that's because I know human psychology from my minimal reading. And we're way too fucking animalistic in our brains. We're too much of a biological little creature to just to need the same motivations monolithically. So my brain goes what's the most efficient solution? And that's to make a a very open space for people to easily step into the vegan lifestyle, because I do think generally overall, if they're vegan for health reasons, they're going to start being vegan for health reasons when it comes to their shampoos and conditioners and chemicals and things around their house. And eventually that will, you know, kind of move into more. So again, like, I left religion for a reason, but if vegans want to be religious about it, you do you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you do you, but I'm not interested in a religion, you know? So I guess if you want people to be more, to clarify, like, oh, are you vegan for health, environment, or philosophical reasons? Like, you can get to know people that way, but you know.
Whatsoever the entire time.
Blendergate wasn't enough. Tomorrow I'm taking his pans too.
So everybody's a wealth of knowledge. Like, we can all get together and learn from each other. They're all amazing.
I'm sure that makes it even harder for the judges because they are so different, but yet they're all, you know, on the same level. So I wouldn't want to.
Especially since, and maybe it's just my bubble, because Discord says, I don't know if I would consider someone vegan if it wasn't for ethical reasons. I don't know any vegan growing up where it wasn't about the food you were eating. Do you know what I'm saying? Only recently online, this go around, did I learn about veganism for ethical reasons. That's why I thought it was interesting. Like, I don't know if I made that abundantly clear. The reason I looked into veganism this time around is because it was about philosophy, which I had never done before. My whole life, 35 years, had only heard about veganism as a health issue. Only, ever. My whole life. Like, even when I thought about PETA growing up, I never associated them with vegans. Like, pouring blood on people, like in the name of animal cruelty, was never associated with veganism for me. So in my bubble growing up, the reason I never looked into veganism was because it was about diet. And I was like, I'm good. I'm good eating meat. Like, what do I care? And only this time around did I was like, oh, it's a philosophy. Yeah, like, I want to make that abundantly clear. That was a bubble pop for me. Realizing veganism was a philosophy. I was like, oh, I never thought about it that way. That's when it became interesting.
Tough deliberation, but I think we've got our top two, bottom two.
Who do you think the winner is, though? I don't know. I'll let you pick that one.
Oh, the winner's guest judge.
What? No.
That's right.
Fucker.
I mean, even if you listen to this show alone, they haven't once talked about it for ethical reasons. They said health. This is the vegan, like, this is the most digestible vegan show that I've ever seen in my life, because most people will understand going vegan for health reasons more than they will understand going health reasons for an animal, right? Like, humans aren't there yet. If 90% of the population is eating meat, they're not going to get it. But if you tell them it's for health reasons, then they're more likely to switch over. So I think I'm just part of the normie bubble in that sense. Like, yeah, I think I was too part of normie bubbles, funny enough, to ever. So like, even this show, we're already how many episodes in, and I haven't once heard them say for the animals. Well, why'd you go vegan? I haven't once heard say for the piglets.
It can be the first top vegan tie.
I don't think we should do a tie. I think we should pick somebody.
Okay.
7.
3.
That's the thing, isn't it? You took a big swing.
Because
I don't know. I don't know.
Great round today. Incredible use of your time. Can we get another round of applause for yourselves? Another hard-fought day, Mitchell Hall. Our top 2 dishes today were Teresa and Shanley.
Huh.
Clap them up.
I'm really surprised. I had a lot of difficulty with the bread, and I was afraid that could possibly send me home.
It would look great,
I'll take
though.
it over being in the bottom, I guess, because my heart would be pounding out of my chest.
It's a hard decision because everyone did a really good job today. But at the end of the day, when it came down to meeting the challenge requirements and having a well-balanced dish, Shanley, actually, we decided to pick you as the winner for today. So,
It feels incredible. It's great validation. I tend to doubt myself maybe a bit much.
Teresa, your dish was so well composed, well balanced, well seasoned. And then Shanley, your dish was also super well composed. The heat level was quite perfect. The cornbread was delicious. But at the end of the day, really what it came down to is you told us how many grams of protein were in your dish, and you slightly glossed over it. For sure. And everyone sitting here should be really proud of yourselves too. Like, everyone put up really great food today.
They did put up really great food today. Discord said, see, if I went vegan purely for diet or health, I'd feel really weird calling myself vegan. I think it just like that's, and then you put the bubble emoji. So true. Look at these bubbles, right? Because I'm so used to like what's the hardest part about being vegan? Eating at restaurants, right? So that's how I think of it. Like, I think about vegan as what you eat, not what you eat. But now I think of veganism as what you eat. But before it was only what you eat. It was only a descriptor of what you eat. Because omnivore, nobody asks an omnivore, what's the philosophy behind your omnivoreness? It's just like, it's what I eat. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you're a vegetarian? Oh yeah, it's what I eat. You know? And then some people will say, why are you vegan? Why are you vegetarian? But like, only to like really bully you. They're never actually curious. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think of veganism as like, even when I dated a vegan, even when I would go on dates with vegans and like eat vegan food, I never heard them talk about it philosophically. Never. I never heard them talk about it philosophically from my memory. I only heard them talk about like why, like what they eat. That's so interesting. I'm having like it was a real bubble pop. Yeah. Yeah. Fascinating, huh?
As cheesy as this fucking sounds, you're already winning by standing in here and by working side by side with some very talented people who can push you and help you develop and be better at your jobs.
But maybe that's why people think veganism is a trend. Yeah, maybe that's why. Maybe why did my camera move over? Did I hit it? Maybe that's why, maybe that's why people think veganism is like a trend that never lasts because people are more trendy about. I don't know. Chet says, why would a philosophy vegan date you though? Why not? I don't get it. Why not? Like, not just like a philosophical vegan could still date a meat eater, right? Like, why wouldn't they? Like, it's not, damn, is it that religious? Like, I guess for some people, but like, I feel like it is a values difference and I get it. But even if I went philosophically vegan, I wouldn't care if my partner did. Cause like, we don't have to agree on this. Because it's not exactly there. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't see it. I could get it. I could see how it's like a make or break for a relationship, which is valid. I think it should be a make or break for you. I just don't think it would be universally a make or break for a lot of people. Because guys, with peace and love, I cannot look at human beings as animals and not understand why they eat meat. Like, I want to make it abundantly clear. I don't think it's unethical to eat meat. I think it's unethical how we like slaughter animals. And then I'm open to conversations about them having agency, but I think I'm an animal. And I think that's why I can't agree with the part of the philosophy that it says like animals deserve like the same rights as humans. Like, I'm not going to get on par with that. But I think that as humans, we can start to treat animals with a lot more dignity than we do, to the point where that dignity could extend to not eating them unless you're in like a survival situation. And in that case, like I said, if I could snap my fingers and feed all the Palestinians who still need to go to work to eat a bunch of chickens, I would. And I don't feel bad about that. You know, if I could snap my fingers and feed them a vegan diet, that'd be great. But at the end of the day, if you asked me, like, would I feed a human population food that is in our diet, that is available to us, that we need to survive? Like, yeah. Would, as a privileged person, I prefer that people don't get factory farming? Yes. Would I prefer nobody gets factory farming? Yes. So it just feels like, I don't know, like, I want people, I can understand the perspective of not wanting to date a non-philosophical vegan. I think that's really valid. Like, super values difference, very valid. I also see that you could be a philosophical vegan and still date a non-vegan. I feel like, obviously, like, Republicans and Democrats date. I don't know how, but they do. You know? So I don't know, like, you know. Yeah. I just feel like sometimes, again, we keep giving humans like way too much credit and then not enough credit, you know? Chess says, is vegan food expensive? No. Vegan food is not expensive because vegan food is vegetables and potatoes and grains. Like, these are not expensive things. This is just food. Vegan food is just food without animal product. So it is not expensive. It's very, very, very accessible. Let's see. My ex, strict vegan, said it wasn't a make or break, but broke up with me a few weeks after I switched from a vegan diet to a vegetarian diet for my own health. Hey, you know, people got boundaries, lines in the sand. Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is. What are we going to do? Yeah. Interesting. I think you have the right to put any stipulation on your relationship that you want. I do think that's good, you know, to be on the same page as your partner, to move with the same values, to make sure, like I said, with my partner and I, we're already at the very bare, like we're at the minimum of requirement for both of us, our standards, and anything we do better from here on out in terms of harm reduction is just an A+ for us. So we're pretty, you know, we're on the same page in that regard. We're doing pretty good in that regard. Yeah, I'm really happy with my partner's harm reduction philosophies, how they harm reduce. It's really nice as a family. We share a lot of that harm reduction overlap. It's just like, I'm going a little further. I'm going a little bit in another direction at the moment compared to them. But like, I still really, really respect my partner's like attempts to harm reduce, which is our goal as a unit, harm reduction. And I'm not at the stage where I'm anti-eating meat. I think it's how we eat the meat that I have a problem with.
One more time for Chef Katie, spending time with us today, lending their palate. It was such a pleasure to have you in the kitchen, and something tells me we're going to be working together very soon.
We're going to do some cool shit. Yeah.
Let's clap it up. Katie with a C, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.
Yeah,
Good
we're
luck
hanging.
to everybody.
Anyone that's going to leave at this point is going to be sad.
Also, to lose somebody who feels like family, who you spent the past few days with, it's really hard.
Finding the little mistakes, the little components is what brought us to our bottom two today, which are going to be Chef Rhea and Chef Noel.
Everybody had so many good dishes, and like I said, Chef Katie was tough.
I mean, it's just been tough. It's tough, but today was really tough, really heavy pressure.
This was hard. I think on both dishes, again, we are always one or two components away. Chef Noel, your pineapple bowl was so vibrant. It had so many bright flavors, but just as you get deeper into it and get more of that quinoa, just slightly under-seasoned. And for Rhea, when you stretch yourself so thin and then you're adding in these layers of emotional difficulty as well, you just put yourself at a disadvantage. You know, you've got so much talent. The chef that'll no longer be in the mix for Top Vegan is unfortunately Chef Rhea. I'm so sorry. This kitchen is
Oh, you guys said it in chat. You said the ones who do too much get eliminated.
not going to be as lively without you.
Oh, girl. Chad says, imagine dating someone you believe is partaking in the literal Holocaust. Okay, well, if to be a philosophical vegan, you have to believe there's a Holocaust happening, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? But like, I get what you're saying, but also, you know what I mean? Like I saw on this other show I'm watching, cooking show, they utilize crickets in the dish. And like, I'm a big proponent of like utilizing insects in our food, which I understand are animals and I understand not everyone's going to want it, but it feels like there's a lot of ways to harm reduce. And in the same way, I radically, like, again, I think it's hard for me not to think of myself as an animal, but I think of it in the other way vegans do. Vegans think humans are animals and non-human animals are animals, so we're the same. But I think we're all animals, which means we all eat each other. But there needs to be a dignity to which we, in how we interact with those things, you know? So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of funny. The line in the sand we all draw, like what perspective we come from, which is all valid, by the way. I think this is what bubbles are. Bubbles are perception. And your perception can change. I'm open to changing my perception in the future. Right now, that's where my perception is. Like we're all animals on a planet, so consuming other animals just makes sense. But also, you know, harm reducing the way we interact with that is fine. You know, if there was I'm not mad at a bear for eating a human. Like it makes sense. Like it's hungry, you're there. I'm sorry, bro, you're gonna die. You know what I mean? But also, I understand I think we all agree, like factory farming, bad. Nothing good or redeemable about it. So I think we can all get on the same page there, you know?
You're an absolute gem. Even when things go wrong, you know, you're sacrificing your own time to go make sure Christian knows that, hey, this was not purposeful. We all really care about you. I want to see you do well with everyone. I want to continue working together. If you ever want to do a pop-up or any collaboration at my restaurant, 4th and State.
Whoa, he didn't offer that for anybody else. Oh, he must have really liked her food because I don't think he said that to anyone else.
I would love to have you down for a weekend so we can sing and dance in the kitchen and have a good time and just put a smile on people's faces. So thank you so much for being in the Top Vegan Kitchen. Yeah, give a group hug, clap her up.
I probably could have.
And also, I just want to point out, like when we talked about animal rights versus human rights, like other humans don't give other humans the same rights. As a queer person myself, like my rights are being threatened right now by other humans. So if we want to talk about like the dignity of life, now some vegans would say if we could value animal life, not human animal life, we could value human life even more, which I think there's something to that. You know, there's something to that.
something back, I probably would have, but you know, shoulda, coulda, woulda doesn't change anything. So just have to move forward. Take it as a learning experience for sure.
The kitchen's gonna be a little bit quieter tomorrow, which is tough. Yeah, we bond every day.
Wow, they're really
but
crying.
For the night, get some rest. We'll be back in here tomorrow, and after such a sour ending to today, hopefully we'll sweeten things up with our dessert challenge tomorrow.
Ooh, desserts. Here we
I'm
go.
sure they're gonna miss me. I mean, if they don't, then
Here we
I don't know what to
go.
tell them. But I'm sure they will. I'm gonna miss them.
Dessert's going to be a big pivot tomorrow, I think, for a lot of people.
I am totally terrified. Desserts are not my strength.
I like being creative with baking, and that's fun for me, but I prefer to cook.
Okay, here we go, baby. Okay, next episode. Ooh, desserts. Here we go.
Come on in, chefs. Find a station, find a station. Welcome back to Mitchell Hall. Every day, the pressure is rising, and it gets harder and harder to not only beat out the peers next to you, but also to watch one of them leave. I know it was hard for me and you all to see Chef Rhea and her wonderful personality walk out of this Top Vegan Kitchen yesterday, but such is the life in a plant-eat plant world, like the Top Vegan Kitchen. Eggs, milk, butter, the staples of almost every dessert in America.
Yep.
And an absolute nightmare
Tell me about
for
it.
any vegan reading an ingredient list.
True.
Now, as you can tell by looking at me, I found some workarounds for finding great vegan desserts. So for today's challenge, there'll be 75 minutes to create a stunning plant-based dessert that'll show everyone in America and across the world that you don't have to give up your favorite sweet indulgences to go vegan. And to help me judge today's vegan dessert challenge is the executive pastry chef of The Crest, The Market and Italian Village, Hoof-Hearted Brewery, and is now the director of operation for Alchemy Brands. Please give a round of applause for Chef Aaron Klaus. Welcome, Chef. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you're a busy guy. Thanks for squeezing us into your schedule.
No problem.
So today's challenge is vegan desserts. And as an executive pastry chef, what do you find as the best building blocks for a great dessert dish?
Yeah, so I'm all about textures. Texture is my biggest thing, especially when it comes to vegan desserts. The use of different flours can really, really make or break a vegan dessert, especially since you're recreating, the lack of butter, the lack of eggs. So I think that it's, extremely creative, building on the texture, building on the flavors, and I'm excited to see what everybody comes up with today.
All right, chefs, you're gonna have 75 minutes to present Chef Aaron and I with an amazing vegan dessert. Use your time wisely, put your focus to one plate, and that time starts now.
It always goes quiet.
It's okay.
Okay,
Everyone is a little-
this is what I'm most excited for because this is the part where I'm struggling. I found a vegan sorbet. I found things I could eat. I found vegan dark chocolate. I found stuff like that I could eat, but I've been really struggling to make dessert at home. Not that I'm much of a dessert girly. I'm actually kind of bad at making desserts, but something I've been really, really wanting is like a cake with cream in it. Like a cream cake. Like cheesecake frosting cake. So
A little nervous about the baking one because of the time constraints.
But yeah, I 100% feel like I belong here. Dessert just may be my demise, so we'll see.
Okay, powdered sugar. Anybody see powdered sugar?
I mean, I've always been intimidated by baking because baking is such a science to it.
This is a blast. This is like a dream come true bucket list. Never thought I would do it, so I'm just happy to be here.
I actually love baking. Before I went vegan, that was what I did most of. I didn't fall in love with the cooking aspect until going vegan.
Make sure this is all the way on, and then this goes in front.
Taking your lemon juice.
If you were put back in the competition series mindset, what do you think you'd try to throw together in this time frame?
So for me, I would focus on thin layers if I was doing anything baked because 75 minutes for a lot of vegan pastry is very quick.
Teta Najla, this one's for you. You know you up and headed right now watching over me.
I am not familiar with vegan baking, so this is my first time doing it.
My God, this is the lumpiest powdered sugar I have ever seen.
See, when I heard baking was a science, I immediately felt dejected because I remembered the kind of grades I got in high school in all my science courses, so.
Failed my science classes and math was my worst, and somehow 95% of my job is yelling out math equations and numbers. Yeah.
Anybody have the lemon juice?
I have lemon juice.
All right, Shanley, how are you today? Are you feeling good about your dish today? Is baking in your comfort zone?
Baking is my comfort zone, but not under this time constraint. We'll see. I'm very excited about the dish if it comes together.
I think baking is just so difficult. I mean, not only do you have to get all of the measurements a little more precise than doing a cooking challenge, but temperature is everything when you want something to set, when sometimes you have to let it cool before you ice it.
Beautiful. Okay. Thank you.
Chef Chloe,
Yes, sir.
how are you feeling today? You're so serious.
I gotta be serious. I'm nervous.
You've got 46 minutes and 29 seconds to create a stunning vegan dessert for Chef Aaron.
Yeah,
What would you be nervous?
Making a layered cake.
Okay.
So it's gotta cool. If I can frost it.
Keep a cool head, and hopefully we'll have a real sweet treat from you later.
Yeah, hopefully. I was definitely nervous and like going so fast at the beginning. My hands are shaking opening up my butter packs.
I think we're almost good there. We're almost there.
Can I steal some more oat milk, please?
All right, Chef Teresa, how are you today?
I'm in the weeds.
You're in the weeds right now?
Tomorrow, a restaurant term. I am in the thick of it.
How deep are you? What are we making today?
Well, I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is I have never seen powdered sugar so incredibly lumpy.
So now you're just sifting, trying to get that texture right.
And the powdered sugar was like BBs. It was these pellets that would just not dissolve.
So chefs, you have 30 minutes left.
I could have sworn you said 45, 20 seconds ago. I don't believe this clock.
So Christian, I see you have a lot of things going on. I'm very intrigued.
Yes.
What are you working on today?
I am making a chocolate raspberry cheesecake with a homemade whipped cream.
Any
Oh my God. Nom, 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 nom. Oh, fuck. I love to eat.
components you're worried about today on your dish?
Honestly, I was ultra nervous before this started, but everything's coming together pretty nicely.
It's wonderful. And today you're keeping an eye on those blenders?
Yeah, I got one blender today, so.
and it's going to stay with you at all times,
I'm going to keep this one on lock today. I do not practice this dish, and that might be my demise.
Chef Noel, please, I'm getting some wonderful smells from your station over here. What are you whisking up over there?
So what I'm doing is I'm going to do a crepe cake.
That sounds fantastic.
And you said this is outside of your comfort zone a little bit?
Yes, I am not a vegan baker whatsoever.
No, I actually never made a crepe a day in my life. I never made a cake a day in my life.
That was quite the environment. A lot of blending, stations in absolute wreck right now. People whisking their lives. Chef Noel, is that a grimace back there?
I got some crepes going on, so I'm good.
You
right
got some
now.
crepes going
I
on?
got some crepes going on. I'm excited. Woo. Oh, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Did I? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I better take care of that.
Okay, Christian, about 15 minutes left. How you feeling? Feeling good?
Feeling pretty good. I'm a little nervous that my cheesecake isn't gonna set, but I have a backup plan if it doesn't.
It's all yours. You can have it.
You're competing, but we're also peers and hopefully friends for life after this.
Looks good, but too soggy.
It's all yours. You can have it.
You're competing, but we're also
I'm very
So
sensitive to you see, you know what I mean? I'm very sensitive to like texture. I'm the kind of girl that puts her syrup on the side, you know, and pours it on each fork bite. So this probably tastes great, but it's too soggy. I can just look at it, you know?
hopefully friends for life after this.
Oh.
Just over 5 minutes left, chefs. I would start thinking about your plates, letting those baked components cool. You wait until the last minute to pull those cheesecakes?
Yeah. I have to be a moose.
I totally understand, dude.
It's not gonna, I don't,
Need more time.
it's not gonna set.
Business decision time.
It's like eerie silence right now.
Yeah,
There
this
is
is
focus.
This is. I feel like we're transitioning to like a horror set now.
You got this, man. You got it.
Definitely didn't set.
How you feeling, Teresa?
Done.
You're done?
Want to eat it now?
Can I serve this, Noel?
Let me see. Garnish it
Sorry?
some more.
Yeah, I'm gonna garnish it, but like,
Can you put it in a bowl and make it into a good mousse?
that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah,
I'm
do
gonna
that.
put it in a bowl.
Okay, chefs, 1 minute remaining. Cut out any elements if you have to at this point.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Hands up.
Hands up.
Another 75 minutes done in Mitchell Hall. How are you feeling, chefs?
We don't want to talk about it.
You don't want to talk about
I
it,
don't want to talk about it.
but maybe we'll taste about it.
Yes.
And then unfortunately, we'll have to talk about it.
There was no strategy. I was just waiting for them to cool towards the end.
I think if it set, it would have been like a home run. Unfortunately, people were in and out of the
Oh.
freezer.
I'm so excited to know what he made it out of because I have so many goals that I'm setting. Obviously, you know, we can't just like. I think one of the dilemmas is, of course, we all live within a food budget, so we can't just make everything we want in a weekend. So I'm making new things every week to kind of test my skills. And one of my goals is to make that vegan cheesecake, a vegan cheesecake. That's definitely on the list. I have so many things on the list, you know?
I think it went okay. I think everyone it was a little bit chaotic.
We were talking that last like 10 minutes, you could hear a pin drop.
Which, by the way, fun fact, do you know a lot of like cooking channels, you know, they have to give the food to friends and family because they don't make like, this is, you know, I think this is like the thing that goes over people's heads that I find fascinating. Those cooking channels aren't eating the food they're making every day. They're giving it away because they have to cook even multiple meals a day just to keep up with content. So, you know, if you're an at-home cook like I am, we're obviously making food within our food budget. We're not overcooking. We're not trying to throw away food. We're trying to make good food for us, which I think we all, you know, deserve a relationship with our food. And so like keep that in mind, not to compare yourself to these like YouTube edited, you know, content creations. These people are making content. The food is not always like what they're eating necessarily.
Up in here, for some reason, when it comes to baking, we just kind of notice it makes everybody clench up a little bit. I don't know if it's the exact measurements we have to look for, or the praying that has to happen while something's baking, cooling, finishing. I know Chef Aaron and I had a great time perusing your stations, getting the aromatics of what was being put together, and we're really excited to taste your dishes. Chef, you ready to eat?
I'm so hungry. I'm ready for this.
Yeah, and you brought your sweet tooth?
I did. I always have a sweet tooth.
Perfect. Please tell us about your dish.
So today we've got a coconut salted caramel pecan butter cake.
Well, it is a gorgeous looking piece of cake. And Chef, if you would like to do the honors, now that's a professional.
I have to get a little bit of that.
Caramel is delicious. The slightly less sweet salted whip, incredible. The cake itself is really soft and sumptuous.
I love the texture of the cake. Cake for me, like I don't like dry cake at all. It's like my biggest pet peeve in the world. So I really like the moisture content of the cake. That makes me very happy.
Yeah, you mentioned as we were going around, you're not a pastry chef. This piece of cake, I think, begs to differ.
I managed to salvage one pretty together piece, but the rest of the cake is no longer with us. So
Tell us about your dish.
So we have a dark chocolate tart with a strawberry and raspberry compote. Should have had some strawberry and raspberry pearls on there as well, but time didn't allow.
When you crunch through, there should be like a texture on a tart. So the fact that like my knife snaps and it doesn't just cut softly, that's like already my first thing that I look at. So that's awesome. And I like how you plated it, like the dark side and the light side, because it's very visually pleasing to the eye. I would maybe just a touch of salt on top. Just like finishing salt, just a little bit, because this chocolate is naturally like
so rich.
Rich, and it's delicious.
So I really enjoyed it. Yeah, texture was great, tastes were great, and the plating was beautiful.
Even though some components didn't work out for some people, it's like how far did they try to push themselves? I think there's so many other things they're going to consider.
Please describe your dish for us.
The main thing is a chocolate chipotle almond shortbread. It comes with a raspberry sauce as well as a cashew creme anglaise.
At the first bite, it was just slightly dense, but as I mix more of that anglaise and the raspberry, you get the almonds in for texture.
Yeah, I like it. I like that you also used almond in multiple ways, chili in multiple ways. I like dishes where you take one ingredient and that's the star ingredient. It's like, how can I manipulate this in 6 different things? So I always like to see that, and I like the spice. That makes me very like, I don't know. It's fun when you're eating desserts. That spice is something different that's unexpected.
Excellent examples of different styles of cookery. You're obviously pushing yourself, and it's paying dividends. Another great dish.
Started off rough, and then I gradually kind of found my groove.
All right, Chef, please describe your dish for us.
So you have a raspberry chocolate mousse with a sweet and salty caramelized pecan over the top, a coconut whipped cream.
This was
okay. He saved it.
a slight pivot from Plan A, which kind of seems to be the theme here at Mitchell Hall. There's Plan A just doesn't seem to be available to everybody.
Yeah, this was Plan B for sure. It was supposed to be a cheesecake.
Yeah, definitely some great flavors. Of course, we're having to adapt and edit. It's hard when you're on a time limit and we can't make science go faster.
Yeah, the textures are really nice. The fact that you have like the thickness and the richness, it's like the creaminess that you expect from the cheesecake. Finishing salt would be just, again, like bring that little bit together.
I'd like to think that my body of work would get me through, but I think that I will be in the bottom 2 today.
Please tell us about your dish.
So it's the classic crepes. I made my own strawberry preserves in the middle and also my own coconut cream-based whipped cream as well, too.
How'd you feel? This is out of your wheelhouse. You're not normally a dessert purveyor.
Like you said, this is not my normal thing. I normally cook savory dinners and stuff like that, so this is definitely
looks too
pushing
wet.
me beyond my comfort zone.
If you lay out your crepes and like cool them down faster, when you go to do that coconut cream, you would see a little bit more of that physical cream layer, but you have enough of the strawberry and they still stay layered. You know, it doesn't just become like
one crepe.
Absolutely. I think that something like this dish would fit right in line with that dish you made for us on that first day.
Honestly, I was so nervous when they cut into the crepe, like, oh shit, how is it gonna look when they cut into it? Is it gonna be messy? Is it gonna be great? And it was perfect.
Great composure, great flavor profiles, great texture. I think everybody hit on all of the notes we were looking for. So if you excuse.
Interesting. I'm so texture sensitive. The chef earlier said he doesn't like he doesn't like a dry cake. I prefer a dry cake to a wet cake unless it's a specific like cream cake, ice cream cake, or carrot cake. Then I like a moist cake.
Chef Aaron and I will pop out, have a little tough convo. We'll come back. He'll say some really great things to one of you. I'll say some not so great things, but we'll all still be friends after.
Oh, interesting. Chez's crepes aren't as porous as pancakes, so they don't soak up in the same way. Interesting. My partner makes themselves really beautiful crepes. That's like their go-to kind of breakfast food. And they make the most beautiful looking crepes, but they make them non-vegan. So I actually haven't had any of their crepes, but they're going to try to make me vegan crepes because I am curious. And I've had crepes before in America, of course. But yeah, crepes I haven't done yet. I'm not the biggest pancake crepe fan. Let me rephrase. I like a pancake when I want a pancake. But I often don't want a pancake as much as I think American reputations make it seem like people are eating pancakes. Like, I don't know how frequent people are eating pancakes in their life. But I'm like, pancakes are great when you're like high. It's like late at night and you want some bready thing to dip into like a spicy syrup, you know?
This is going to be tough. Yeah. Some really, really great dessert dishes in there. Let's start with some of the sweeter feedback. What were some of your favorites?
Yeah, so I really like Chloe's. I'm very particular towards that. The fact that she did cake and nobody else did cake.
I was impressed with Teresa's dish. Again, she's pushing herself. There could have been some edits, some more sweet, maybe some more of that cream anglaise. Shanley's tart.
Yeah.
Was really good.
The texture of the tart when you crunch like that.
Yeah, the crunch of that knife hitting was excellent. That chocolate was so deep, so rich. Yeah. But yeah, a little bit of salt would have helped.
Like, molded it together just a touch further.
Right. I think we both enjoyed Chef Noel's dish as well. The stack of crepes.
Yeah. You know, just like the quirky, fun energy from like the plate. Like it just kind of.
It almost had like a cake aesthetic to it with the rose next to it. What'd you feel about Christian's dish? The cheesecake mousse.
I like the idea and I like the initial direction. I think it's just like an execution. Like he aimed for the stars. Absolutely. Know? And like unfortunately things take a lot of time to cool.
All right, well, yeah, tough deliberation, but I think we've got our top two and our bottom two. You ready to get in there and deliver some good news and then leave me to be that dark chocolate bitter taste in everyone's mouth at the end of the day?
Better you than me.
Well, another tough one. Another 75-minute battle. Every day gets tougher, the group gets smaller, and we get closer to crowning our top vegan. Again, a lot of splitting hairs, diving into who checked the boxes. So we had decided through our conversation that our top two for today's challenge are Chef Teresa and Chloe.
Very excited. I feel relieved.
It was just a really nice flavor. Something that maybe was a little unique and set me apart from other people.
Man, I'm gonna be sad. I'm gonna be sad if they sent home the cheesecake guy. Only because like he obviously brings a certain level to the competition that I think is actually quite impressive. And his dishes so far, I think like have looked really, really good.
We both did something a little bit different, a little bit out of the box. Teresa, your flavor profiles using the chili was super unique. I really enjoyed that thought process and the fact that, you know, you had multiple components and how you utilize them. Chloe, your cake was fantastic. The texture, the flavor, like the moisture content of it, everything just, you know, really like melded well together.
A lot of moving parts to each of those dishes and you should both be very proud. Would you like to announce our winner for today?
Yeah, so today's winner, Chloe. It was fantastic.
Wow. Congratulations.
It's something I would put in any of my retail cases. Like I urge you to make it and see what you can do with it because it was fantastic. So congratulations.
And again, both your flavor profiles were very unique. And yeah, great job to both of you. And congratulations, Chloe. Great job.
Think about perfecting a few things and possibly I can sell it in some restaurants locally and in their dessert case, so we'll see, you never know.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are all extremely talented, so I'm excited to see and meet all of you here. You know, just keep pushing. We've all picked an industry that we are all clearly something's wrong with us, right? It's like, it takes a special person to be in this industry, and so I just implore you to continue what you're all doing.
Well, thank you very much for joining us, and hope to see you again soon, Chef.
Awesome, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Teresa really impressed me today. Chloe really impressed me today. Honestly, everyone's dish was stunning.
Teresa, always Teresa. She's so talented. Hers was beautiful. And Noelle's was so good.
Yeah, so every day the circle gets tighter. and it gets harder to see any of you go. We keep getting to know each other more each day, and I feel like every dish you guys put forward is another piece of your life that I'm getting to be a part of, whether it's something you bake very often or that you're doing sometimes for a very first time. And after talking with Chef Aaron, our bottom 2 dishes for today were Christian and Shanley.
The dish that I envisioned was not what I put out to the judges, so feeling pretty low right now, honestly.
I had 2 or 3 components of my dish that I really feel like couldn't plate or time didn't allow for me to plate.
I kind of hope she goes home.
Christian having to adapt. The cheesecake didn't set.
No.
You were editing, trying to get those textures together. There was a lot of great flavor.
Her dish was better because it actually came out, though it was missing components. But I think he seems like the better chef. I want to see what he does for the rest of the show.
A lot of great texture. And for Shanley, that tart had the perfect crisp. The chocolate was so deep, but yeah, missing that extra salt. But after my discussions with Chef Aaron, we've decided that the chef that is no longer in the mix for Top Vegan, unfortunately, is Chef Christian.
Damn.
I'm so sorry. You know, you have been one of the most consistent competitors, laser focused every day in the competition, no matter what's happening around you. The last 2 days, you definitely got a bad break with some things that have happened to you.
Question, and I wonder about this. Would they have sent him home if he intentionally made a mousse? Do you know what I'm saying? Are they sending him home because he tried a cheesecake and it didn't work? Or are they sending him home because his mousse was bad? Because if he had started off and just said, like, I'm making a mousse, but I guess that's the point of the show, is that they dock you for not being able to make your first thing happen. But then I kind of feel like if he saved it in the end, then it would have been credit, but maybe it just didn't taste that good. You know? So I kind of wonder about that. Like, I wonder if it was good on its own, but maybe not.
Here.
You know, I've accepted it because each day there's a different guest judge, so that judge doesn't know what I did the day before. You know, so based on today, I deserve to go home.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough to see you go, my man. You're a beast in the kitchen. I appreciate your attitude, your effort, and just being a consummate professional. Things went wrong. You kept your head up. You didn't blame anyone. You just tried to make a great dish. And that's something we can all learn from.
You know, I was very thankful for this opportunity.
Damn.
I thought that I could go farther.
So let's clap him up, give him some hugs.
Guys, good luck. Oh my God, I've been cooking my whole life.
Man, competitions are hard.
That's the kitchen life. You know, it gets harder every day. We punish ourselves, pushing ourselves to make these great dishes. And unfortunately, in the heat of the competition, at the end of the day, somebody's got to get burned.
It was stressful today. I ain't gonna even lie. I'm like, yeah, I feel good. I feel indifferent.
You know, day one, we were like, here is my best dish. I'm very proud of it. And then today, we're all just like, that's what I got.
I think tomorrow's gonna be another day that might be out of some people's comfort zone. It's gonna be a really stressful day at 4th and State. You guys are gonna be working with me on the line. In a kitchen you've never been in, a menu you've never served. And you're gonna be right next to me in prime time.
Oh my
And it's gonna
God.
be your job to get things together and get them out to our guests.
Oh, I'm
We've been
stoked.
cooking by ourselves a lot up until this point.
Oh,
But
shit.
what takes a chef to the next level is, can you play with others?
Oh,
Can you direct?
shit.
Can you keep your ears open? Can you keep your mind in different places? You're gonna need all those skills tomorrow. The final 3 will be pitching a vegan food business concept on Sunday for the chance to win $10,000. Business
Damn.
leadership and the title of Top Vegan. Keep those things in mind. Get some rest tonight. Take a deep breath. Another round of applause.
Just being here was a win. Everyone was so nice and gracious, and Chad is just an awesome guy. Like, probably be my friend for life, to be honest with you.
Honestly, it's probably going to be more challenging. I'm not fixing my own recipes and, you know, things that I'm familiar with.
I'm excited. Working the line, especially when it's a busy rush, can be fun if you're working with the right people, and I'm excited to work alongside them and Chad.
Damn. All right, here we go, episode 5.
I know. Well, this is one what's the best meal in Columbus, like 2 years in a row. So,
welcome.
It is. Chad said such a wholesome show. Girl, this show is so good. I think they really killed it. I think they truly killed it. And actually, I don't know if I've done this yet. I probably haven't. Let me get you their main channel link. Because I'm in love. Like, I think this is so cool. And they have a season 2. This is season 1. There is a season 2. Maybe we'll watch it next Friday and it'll be like Friday chill stream days. But I love this. I think it's so good. It's so wholesome. It's very focused on the food, and the quality is higher than I thought it was going to be because I didn't realize it was actually going to be chefs. I, for some reason, thought it was going to be like not so much, but like there really is like a standard here that I love to see with food.
To my downtown family-owned diner, 4th and State.
Woo woo.
Now, yesterday we had another rough battle in Mitchell Hall. The dessert challenge proved not to be so sweet when we watched our dear friend Christian exit the top vegan competition. I know how excited you have all been at the opportunity to cook together. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
You excited?
Yes.
You think you can handle it?
Oh, yeah.
Are you ready for some bad news?
Oh.
You're not actually going to be cooking together. You're going to be cooking one at a time with me, which is a nightmare scenario. One of you will join me on the line as my expediter. I'll be cooking the food, sending it to you at the end of the line to plate, garnish properly, and send out to the correct table. It'll take communication with the back of house, the front of house, and stress management like you wouldn't believe. I think my boys are 11, 12 tickets deep back there, and they're looking like they might need a break. You'll each have 45 minutes on the line or until you're kicked off. If ticket times start building, inaccurate items go out to tables, or anyone reaches a boiling point, we'll sub you out. My chefs will come back in, help reset the line, and it'll be next chef up. You guys ready to step up to the challenge?
Yeah.
You guys kind of missing Mitchell Hall right now? Well, 3 of you will get the opportunity to return there tomorrow, back to the safety of the mix. But first, you gotta make it through the 4th and State kitchen. So Chef Noel, if you're ready, you'll be coming back with me, and we'll party on the line. How's that sound?
Yes.
Hug it up. Chef Noel,
You got this.
join me on the battleground. And chefs, I'll see you soon. This ticket is the one we're working on. It'll just be paramount that as we're going through, my tickets and your tickets line up. All right, so I'm swinging over the brunch wrap for Daniel Postmates and his guac fajita hash browns. You can pull another down for this Alexis Uber Eats that I just dropped a pancake for. We've got 3 types of loaded, the bacon ranch, which you did. Now you've done guac fajita. And one will be a sour cream queso rizo.
Daniel, Postmates ready to go?
Yeah, it's always pretty busy when I come here. It's usually not that bad of a wait, but there's always people here.
If you want to pull up, these are our French toast sticks below. Smear. If it gets too much of a dip, it'll, like the insides of the bread will break down.
Traditional patty melts. Traditional patty melt. All right.
And powdered sugar, where can I find that?
Powdered sugar is going to be in that metal canister right on your left.
I'm not going to play. Even the stress of being in a restaurant when it's busy stresses me out, because like it is a lot to make these things happen. It is a lot.
Do you have an ETA on Cody's to-go ticket? I'm running a 30-minute ticket time on that right now.
We are trying to speed things up.
It's crunchy on the outside, soft on the inside, very good. All the flavors come together.
And Chef, you're going to be communicating with my sister down there. She is our front of house manager. Please make sure everything is right before it hits the table. I do not want to get yelled at more than I have to today, and I don't think you do either.
I put syrup on there already. Do you need more?
Oh, you're on the French toast sticks?
Yes.
Let's put it on the side, please.
Okay.
So this is what's going down right now. I'm working the line, busy Saturday brunch shift. I got Chef Noel here working with me, making sense of all this food we're throwing down. Ticket times are climbing. We're about 51 minutes right now. We got to rebound
51 minutes.
Now we really got to start burning. I need ranch on those buns back there for that sandwich. We've got home fries, a brunch wrap, and a breakfast bowl back there. This is going to dining room 6. Ticket times are climbing up to about 50 minutes right now, and we got to get this shit down. So,
Sounds milkshakes for you.
Ooh, got a spicy take from Discord. Behind on stream, but I swear a lot of ethical vegans need therapy to deal with the trauma of realizing how they were contributing to the harm in the past. People are shocked and horrified when they realize what our food supply looks like. They become militant instead of learning how to better an imperfect world. You know what that reminds me of, though? That vegans aren't psychologists. Some of them might be, but we have to remember that activists aren't therapists. And activists, honestly, a lot of us become activists because we're traumatized. Right? We're trying to like fix an injustice in the world. And I think we forget, like, you need to go to therapy and you need to empathize with how people evolve and how we change as a culture and how we become, you know, not at the expense of, you know, dignity. But yeah, I think, you know, going to therapy and letting my therapist remind me that like I can't save the world reminds me that I'm only responsible for helping my like 6-foot radius. And that's a lot. You know, imagine if we were all doing that, right? So I think that, you know, what a good reminder to say out loud, to remind ourselves that like, we're not psychologists, we're just people. And you put a lot of pressure on people, dude, in a world where like, I'd like to see you put that pressure, you know, with a little bit of compassion, you know, and meet people where they're at and give people, you know, an opportunity to come to a real change. instead of making them like guilting people. How is that going to be fucking helpful? How was that helpful when we were religious? How was the guilt and shame helpful when we left our communities that abused us? How is it helpful to continue using shame and abuse to like change people's minds, right? And we have to accept like we're animals on a planet to some extent. Like I feel like accepting that is the hardest part for all of us. But like, I would love to see a more ethical society. But like, again, we're not even treating fellow humans with the dignity they deserve, let alone a non-human animal. So I feel like we forget that. We forget there's a lot of actual mental health being played into this. And again, love the idea around the vegan philosophy. Just don't understand the tactics, or, you know, there's something to be said about how people come to conclusions. And I think this kind of coincides with my levels a little bit. I really got to refine it, because something I'm learning is you can be a 2 vegan and a 5 vegan, but the reason you're vegan is going to feel different. I think it should come from joy and compassion and your place in the universe. If it doesn't come from those places, it's not good enough for me. If you're not coming to a conclusion out of joy, I don't think it's the right conclusion. If you're fighting for something because it's like fear-based, or you think it's like it's something you're having a disgust response, I don't think that's the right reason to do anything. Because that's the same reason homophobes use to justify their homophobia. It's disgusting. It makes them feel gross. Their stomach is turning inside out. Like, how could you be homosexual? Don't you feel disgusting with yourself? Like, that's not the reason I want you to come to good conclusions. I want you to make your life something beautiful. Like, I'm so happy. This decision I've made has improved my life. I think I am so much more joyful in this position. I'm not disgusted at your decisions, but I feel bad for you that that's where you're at. Because not in a pity sense, but I want you to be so much happier than you are. A lot of meat eaters are miserable fucking people. And you can tell with the way they hate vegans. But see how like, that's not what I want either? If you've come to a conclusion about life through misery, like, that's not good enough for where I am in my life. I want you to come there because of joy. You know? Chat says, I think they're saying the guilt we experience pushes people to be more militant when they haven't unpacked the guilt. I'm confused by tone right now. Yeah, exactly. Like they're saying sometimes when we fight, this is an autistic problem as well. Sometimes we get so trapped in our sense of justice that we forget to let things go that were never in our control. It's not in your control. What's in your control is the joy of your life. And when people see you being joyful, they'll wonder if that's for them as well. And like, that's what convinces people more than anything, I think, is joy. You know, especially since a lot of like people double down. I think there's a lot more PDA in communities, or like, what's the other variation of PDA people have been using? You know what I mean? You know, Chat says it gets confusing when stating facts causes people to feel guilt. Well, guilt comes from the shame of not adhering to the standard of the construct. You know, the construct you've created for yourself, and shame is the guilt of not adhering to the construct created by others. So when we feel guilt, we don't want to feel bad about ourselves, right? Like we don't want to feel bad because everyone thinks they're good. That's this week's podcast. This week's podcast is why it's so hard to be a good person. And that's because we feel like, God damn, what else do I have to do? I feel like I'm doing enough. Like, I feel like, how much more could you want me to do? You know, like Jesus, like I'm really like, you look at your life and you think, I just wake up, I go to work, I come home. How much more do I have to fucking do? I already feel like I'm not killing anyone. I'm not murdering it. You know, these are the things we tell ourselves. And then now when you feel like, wow, I really made this world, I really feel like I'm being a good person. And then you have somebody yelling at you for being a rapist or being like pro animal rape. You're like, what? Like, what are we talking about? And then I think we think people are more educated than they are. I never saw factory farming videos like in the way that I saw them in these documentaries. I saw some videos, I saw some things. And also I think we forget like humans are biological creatures. They are also animals, and we're learning as we go. I think we think so highly of ourselves and not enough of ourselves at the same time. Genuinely. Like we have this complex of never feeling good enough and also never giving ourselves enough credit. We are not as smart as we think we are, but we're so much smarter than we think we are. We're not as good as we think we are, but we're so much better than we think we are. And I feel like all of these bubbles are fighting with each other. If you want people to be convinced of your argument, first, I recommend being joyful. You're just not joyful enough for me, bro. Be passionate, be joyful. But yeah, I don't want your life if you look miserable. And a lot of people look too miserable for me to be convinced that this is the right decision. You know, this show does more for veganism than I've seen in a long time, because this show is uplifting, fun, exciting, and it makes people excited to try new recipes. I feel like you got to start somewhere. Start with people feeling good about themselves. Like, that's the first place to start, you know? And yeah, like, shame is such a societal tool, generally speaking, that I know it's a part of our evolutionary process, but I think we should evolutionary our way out of it, girl. Okay, we need to get it out. Thank you, Maiden says PNA, persistent need for autonomy. Yeah, I think society suffers from it. We are so afraid of not having choice. I mean, ask a conservative what they're afraid of. They're afraid of choices. They're afraid their kids are going to get taken away if they don't, you know, reinforce their gender. We have to stop using fear as our communication tool. But the problem is that people are afraid. People are afraid, you know? So like, how do we do that when people are so afraid, you know? You know what this reminds me? And, you know, I don't mean to put this person on blast. So like, I'll just like not share their name, but I shared it with my Discord. I did take out their screen name because I just think it's so interesting when people come across my content and have a relationship with it. I got this comment from somebody, and this person, I don't know what any of this comment means or like what they've been watching from me, but you know how I made a comment about Madeline Pendleton the other day? Like, Madeline Pendleton that's been fighting with Cat Black. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, fighting with Cat Black. You know what I'm saying? Like, this person left a comment in my comment section, and this is what I'm saying. I don't know what this person is angry about or what they've been watching from my content to come to this conclusion or who they think I am. But this is exactly like this is a Grey Bubbles comment. And I really wish them the best. And I told them maybe a different bubble will work for them because I don't even know how to deconstruct this. They said, I commented on Madeline Pendleton. So I commented on their fave, which I get. They said, very bold of you to come at Madeline. Well, I didn't blur out their username. I just realized I should have done that. Said, very bold of you to come at Madeline. Well, she has a whole podcast dedicated to calling out and discussing the history of the U.S. government. They're also trying to actually educate people on more lefty shit and was never a conservative or a Republican. I think they're coming for my past, right? Is that like a dig at me? I'm so autistic. Is that a dig at me, like for being raised Republican or conservative? Are they like digging at me for being raised in an immigrant household that votes Republican? And they're mad that I didn't leave fast enough, even though I left literally basically as I left home at 21, 22. Like, are they coming for me? Okay, they do so much more to contribute to actually educating people and giving people the resource to learn more than you do, girl. What the fuck? I just disagree with Madeline. Like, okay. And this is Madeline runs a business trying to be ethical and share equally in a capitalistic system. They have a book trying to educate people on finances because she grew up poor and doesn't want to be a greedy capitalist. Girl, you sat up here charging people to talk to you. So are we not charging for labor? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Also, why do they think I agree with Madeline's politics? That's the point. I don't agree with Madeline. Like, I disagree with Madeline. Like, also, like, are we not charge for your labor, guys? Charge for your labor. Okay. And then this commenter confused me. They said, you literally said racist shit about black people, like Myron saying you're blacker than him because you're progressive. When did I say that? When did I say that? As though that has anything to do with being black. When did I say that? What video are they even referencing? Like, I have no idea what this is about. When did I say I was blacker than Myron because I'm progressive? What? I'm a very proud Assyrian person, but like, when did I say this? And they said, sorry, but like, you're vegan for 30 days and you won't stop talking. Meanwhile, Madeline has been vegan and vegetarian for years and doesn't have to preach about it. What? This is what I'm saying. How does this help anybody? What are you talking about? I did a 30-day challenge, which is a very fucking normie thing to do. And like, I'm excited to explore it philosophically, but like, what is this thing about Madeline where their viewers are obsessed with them? Like, what is up with that bubble? It's so interesting. And they said they had to build themselves up. So maybe they're a little radical, but at least when they critique black people they disagree with, they don't ... You're really not the activist you want to be. You just give your opinions. I'm sorry, but BFFL? What's BFFL? Be fucking for real? L? Loser? What is BFFL? But also, I literally left activist bubbles years ago and I said that. I've always said that. Like, I've always said that I'm not an activist. because I didn't find my joy in the activist circles, but that doesn't mean I don't perform activist needs on stream. Like, I think they're talking about because I was linking the petition. You don't have to be an activist to link a petition. Like, I need to make this abundantly clear. If you want to count that as activism, I love that. I think more of activism is like working in the streets, being in it, which I used to be, but I don't do that anymore. But I want to make it clear, like, me sharing a petition on the internet is like activism or not activism. It's what we should all be doing. We should be voting and participating if that is like the way you see your participation making sense. But me, like, speaking on behalf of like queer people and stuff, it is a form of activism. But more than that, it's me just pleading for my civil rights, which is so necessary. So anyways, comments like that I get is like very confusing. Like, how could you misunderstand my work so much? And I have no idea what she's talking about, which is even more confusing. But it is like one of those things where I'm like, okay, I don't know what's happening with these bubbles, but sometimes I think because I comment on them, they think I'm with them. I'm not with you. I'm more in that Cat Black, FD Signifier side of things, which obviously Cat Black and FD Signifier and me and the progressives and Hassan and like ContraPoints and all those people, like, we're more on this thing. I don't know what Madeline's doing. But like, yeah, I don't identify as a communist, right? Like, this doesn't make sense. I don't identify with systems. I don't identify as a capitalist. Identifying with systems is never going to be my thing. I identify with my consciousness, with spirit. I think I'm too hippie, maybe. Like, I don't understand. Okay. So it's just like, I get it. I'm with you. I feel you. Maybe this space isn't for you. But just a reminder, everybody watching, we are trying to deconstruct ourselves. That is what we're working on, because we are a reflection of society. If we're upset with the state of the world, we have to look at ourselves first, right? And so, you know, maybe we think like we've reached it. We're there. We've reached our point of growth. I think there is no such thing as a point of growth. You always can grow, right? So I think sometimes I feel like the bubbles, there's an end point to their ability to understand, like, we're evolved animals on a planet. But we're coming from different angles. If Madeline's been vegan and all that stuff, that's great. But like, not all vegans are the same and we all come to different conclusions. I'm not a vegan. That's like important. I'm going down the vegan journey, but I'm not a vegan. But it's interesting, this idea of like comparison. Where's like, why are we comparing? Like, you know what I mean? But obviously Madeline they and I don't share the same belief systems. We don't believe the same things. So why would you compare me to somebody? That's like comparing me to a conservative. Like, Ben Shapiro does all this stuff for pro-life. Okay. But I'm not a conservative. Whatever Madeline is, I'm not. Right? Like, we're not in the same bubble. We are not doing the same things. We might be both left, but we're not doing the same things. You know? So it's just interesting. You know, it's interesting. Chad says we need more dialogue around vegan philosophy. So much misunderstanding and assumptions. Chet says when you're a minority, existing is often activism. That's how I feel. I feel like me existing and putting the flag up and reminding people, like, that's what's important. You know, that's what's important. Oh, they're a tanky. Madeline's a tanky. Yeah, I don't identify with these things. Like, I'm just a Britney and then I'm going to die. I don't identify like with these, you know what I mean? Like, I love leftist philosophy, but like, I don't identify with that particular bubble, right? Chad says in my country, it's harmful to come out as queer, not illegal. I'm a cis-bi woman, and I agree with you on the activism part. If I was an activist, it would have been harmful for me. Yeah, I think, look, I've done my activism days. I've done my cleaning up streets and protesting. I've done the gathering signatures and going door to door. And that was, you know, I love it. I love my time doing that. I wasn't as joyful. I feel like my joy is in helping people not feel so overwhelmed by the state of the universe, because I think moving in fear is just negative. I want us to move in joy, and I want us to do the right thing because we know it's the joyful thing, not because we're afraid of another bad thing happening. And I think that's probably just growing up conservative. Conservatives really move on fear. Everything they do is fear-based, you know, and I'm just not about it. I'm not in the mood. You know what I mean? Anyways, I don't know. I don't know what Madeline stands for. I don't know them enough, but what I've seen from their content, we're not in the same bubble, but I wish them the best. And I wish their viewers the best. I wish this person the best. I hope they're happy. I think they've misunderstood me, but that's okay. Like, it happens, you know, no big deal. It happens. But yeah, I did not understand that comment or what they were talking about, but I wish them well. Let's go back to vegan cooking. Here we go.
Dining room 6 is ready to go.
You need a breakfast bowl still?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. My apologies. So sour cream and sriracha drizzle on
And
top.
chipotle. Drizzling both, and then a small scoop of pico in the center, and then we got to sell that and get these other dishes moving. We got food getting cold behind you.
This is ridiculous. She just needs to go faster. Your food is coming like right now. Sorry.
Trying to get these fucking ticket times down. I pulled Steve over so we can get more food down there. All right, chef, right after you get that bagged up, we're gonna be swinging over dining room 6 and dining room 5.
And with bagging, am I tying it or am I?
Yep, tie it off, staple the receipt to it. We're looking at Melissa Uber Eats 6, 5, and we're dropping Jacqueline's order spoon pickup order.
How are we doing on the tickets? Are we getting better?
Ticket times, we've got to keep churning. We've got the 4th Street combo, and those home fries are gonna be going.
We need to do another drop on hash browns. They broke.
Heard that.
Yes.
Steve, can we get another hash? Okay.
Okay.
Noelle, that's all for you. Time flies, right? Time flies.
I assume they tell the customers like, hey, we're doing a TV show. Is that okay? You know, I'd love for, you to understand it might take us longer, stuff like that. She says, I would love for you to do more commentary on cooking shows, Hell's Kitchen in particular, if there's something you'd enjoy doing. I appreciate that so much. I'll be real with you. I can't do Hell's Kitchen on stream like we're doing because it's copyrighted, right? So like there's nothing there. There might be some interesting Hell's Kitchen or Kitchen Nightmares shows to review, but I'm going to be so real. I have to really deeply think about a brand, like my brand. It doesn't, if I pull myself in too many directions, like I'm never, guys, no, who are you going to share my content with? I gotta get, you know what I mean? I want to get bigger. I want to spread the message. I want to, be a staple YouTuber. And I'm not going to do that if I keep confusing everybody about what I do. So you got to understand, right? If I keep reviewing all different kinds of shows with no philosophy element, like what is the channel? You know what I mean? With peace and love. So I love that idea, but also where's the philosophy element of reviewing Gordon Ramsay? Where is it? So this is fun because this is philosophy related, but I don't know. I just want to be a commentary channel that like watches fun shows with you? Because I'm going to be real. My autistic brain is not going to be stimulated enough. But that, who does that? Cinnamon Toast Ken. Cinnamon Toast Ken just reviews mush. And it's so fun. But there's no thinking to it. There's no like... That's why I don't watch it that often. Because I'm not stimulated enough. So like, but I love him.
All right, let's go next up. We're moving. We are burning time.
It's just always so busy in here. Like, you have to expect a little bit of me.
It is so good. It's my first time here, so I'm really excited.
This is really good. Yeah.
The ticket colors, if you see red, we're not doing very good. And as you can see, it's nothing but red. It's a tough day in the kitchen.
Okay, where do you need me?
All right, you're gonna be right up here on this station. Just start reading tickets.
Okay, so 1 burrito bowl.
Wonderful, and we've got
1 brunch wrap.
that just needs a scoop of salsa in it, which you'll find in your line right there below the lettuce and green onions.
Salsa, closest to you, a scoop, okay?
We're gonna get a half order queso rizo nacho out. You can do that all with what you have. You don't need me at all for it. And after you get those chips plated, please swing the burrito bowl for Cody into the bag, and we got to get him out of here.
How are Brussels sprouts?
Wonderful.
Okay.
Here you are, and I will be right back with that chips and guac for you, okay? You're welcome.
I had the breakfast bowl, and it was amazing.
So next, I've got 2 sets of bread behind you. One will get mayo on each side, 1 sandwich, the BLT.
And this was the queso rizo nachos, correct? Dining room 10?
Yes.
Okay. Sriracha.
Yep.
And Scream.
Yep.
Ooh, that looked like a good... You know what that was? Ooh.
Yes.
Look at this.
Sriracha.
You see this? What is that? The Supreme Taco Crunch from Taco Bell? That's what that looks like. That's what I need in my life. I need like a toasted tortilla, vegan, you know what I mean? Like that sounds bomb.
Yep.
And Scream.
Yep. You scream, I scream, we all scream for sour cream. So right now we got Teresa in the kitchen with me. Home cook. Right now, she's asking a lot of questions. Everything I tell her to do, it comes with a question. When you don't know what you're doing, that's a good sign. We're trying to get these tickets out.
I don't think I need very help. I'm not trying to be rude. No, it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to the Brussels sprouts for sure.
Love Brussels sprouts. Love Brussels.
And then I'm definitely going to steal some of your loaded fries. Yeah.
Table 4?
Yeah, the house-made queso is really good. I want to know the recipe.
It's fabulous. Thanks.
Did you call this for a reason?
Because I thought it was done.
But there's nothing else on the ticket, and there's no other ticket.
For table 4?
That's 3.
She called table 4 out.
I'm sorry.
You want to try french fries? French fries, okay. Good. See, this might be the transition if we need to go get.
Oh.
All right, Teresa, let's get these brunchos out, and your time on the line is done for today.
This is not enough cheese, is it?
I would do a little bit more, yeah.
That's all there is.
Okay, heard that.
Table 4.
Ticket times are a little slower, but it does take, I mean, we've had people at work that it's
Ooh, okay, chat. Chat says I used to be salty when I felt your content was moving away from philosophy, but you normally figure out a way to relate the content to philosophy somehow. Thank you. I'm trying. I really love philosophy, guys. I just love it so much. I'm really trying to make it more digestible for people. I think that's my goal for 2025. How do I get more people interested in philosophy? Because I think it will help their lives without doing like, I have a plan. I'm excited. I have a plan. I think it's going to work. I think people are going to get excited, but I love philosophy. I could snort it like cocaine. I love it so much. And I think people forget philosophy is so good, and it would really help people to be more philosophical. I'm really optimistic. I'm really in love with like, I'm trying to rework it into content because the Love is Blind stuff is going great. I wish I could get it out faster for you. But yeah, like I think, girl, you know, like I'm excited. Okay. Chat says I prefer the philosophy stuff, so I mainly dip in when I see what will be that will be covered. Yeah, I like that. That's really good feedback, and I really want to focus in on that because our life is philosophy. Like our whole life is meaning, and with the world being in this like meaning crisis, I just feel like we definitely need better commentary that incorporates like philosophical outlooks. I think that's why it's kind of hurtful when political bubbles do come into this bubble and then they just throw out all of these like accusations where it feels like I'm not doing what you're doing. Like politics is about winning and philosophy is about truth. And I'm interested in philosophy. And so it can get like a little like, I feel bad. I feel kind of bad for them because I don't want them to feel like I'm their enemy. But also I feel bad that philosophy is missing from people's lives so drastically that they can't see themselves outside of structures. Like nothing hurts my heart more than people thinking that they're what the oppressive structure thinks they are. Like you are so much more than what the oppressive structure says you are. But in politics, you have to only think of yourself, I think, within that construct because that's how you win politics. But that's just like, I've been there and I felt like it was a trap for me. I really felt like it was a trap, you know? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Okay. Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it.
It's taken them 6 months to get up to speed, so one day is a lot.
You're next?
Am I going? Yeah.
Come on in. All
Come on
right.
in.
Brandon, if you want to hop off, I'm going to need you to start by pulling one of our large stuffed crust pizza doughs from there, and we're going to just start building to what Tao wants. He always orders these crazy pizzas. We cut these into 6 slices, so if you want to do a dollop of small cream cheese.
And sausage crumble.
I do have that as well.
Thank you.
A scoop of guac and some green onion, and then that can go right there. That dining room 6, yeah.
Got dining room 6.
Thank you. There's no one in the country that goes through more of this than me. Just Egg, hit me up, email me back sometime. So yep, your modified drone trap is down for table 6. Great job.
Yeah, see, I don't have like Just Egg and stuff like that. I don't have the vegan products that a lot of people use. In my local store, at least. I'll have to go more outside of town to try to figure out like what other stores might have stuff. But it would be interesting. I don't miss eggs right now. I'm not like into eggs at the moment anyways. But I love the idea of like that potato wrap he was making. In Assyrian dishes, one of the dishes we make a lot is just like, it's called potatoes and onions, like potatoes, onions, and curry. So you like fry onions, you fry the potato, okay? Block it up in chunks. And then you put curry and salt, and it's like the most delicious thing. It's so good. And then you put in some tortilla or pita or any kind of bread, and it's like the greatest, yummiest thing, but it's so inexpensive. Like onions and potatoes, are you so for real right now? I think the most expensive thing really is the curry. And gosh knows that's like the most, it's just so accessible. So when you talk about like vegan food and accessibility, it's there, girl. But people don't know what to do with food. That's why I say like my advantage in life is knowing how to cook. Because if you don't know what to do with it, then it's not going to be good, you know? And so much of our life is enhanced when we have a better relationship with our food. For sure. Chat says Just Egg is a way out of my price range. I think a lot of those prepackaged vegan foods would ultimately be out of most people's price range, which is why I say going vegan isn't expensive as long as you're not relying on convenience. If you're willing to cook and have a relationship with your food, then it's definitely cheaper. You know, it's definitely doable.
Chloe, you're doing great.
I've got blueberry pancake bites for Dining room 6 out first.
Chef Chloe.
Oh, yo, I'd eat the fuck out of that. Blueberry bites.
Definitely has experience in the back of house. She's churning over there on Expo, asking questions. Plating has been the most beautiful thus far.
I've got dining room 1 ready to go. You got my omelets coming, my 1 pancake.
Yep.
Traditional.
This girl loves pressure.
Yep, if you see anything handwritten on a ticket, please let me know.
Okay.
Any out first, any pizzas that I can get started on before we get too far into the tickets.
I do have a half-order brunchos out first, but that's your last ticket.
Heard that.
I'm gonna need more maple syrup.
Heard.
Yeah, we're all vegan, so.
Oh, nice.
That's all we eat.
I think it's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
We've heard good things.
Pardon me, wash your hands. We have to try to cover some surface area with it. Thank you, Chef.
This breakfast bowl is
Need
missing
that,
the chipotle aioli.
Got it, thank you. I don't have that to go. Yes, that to go. Got it to go for Young.
I had no complaints about Chloe. I would love to work with her.
My most favorite thing is this pancake. It's like eating cake. It's so fluffy and so large.
Hello, Shanley. How are you?
So this is the lettuce, then tomato.
And then I've got the tofurkey.
You said stack this?
Yep, stack it, put a pin through it, and I've got the french fries for it right behind you.
Dining room 7. All right, what can I help you with now?
And we just got a big order, a couple pizzas at the end. So let's move with some purpose.
I'm used to balancing a lot of things, just not like this. Yep, that one's out. So dining room 4 is what I have next.
Okay.
This was very good. It makes me curious about other items on the menu.
Ooh, see this thing, whatever this thing is.
This was very good.
This thing, I want to eat that. What is that? That is literally the soul, whatever that is. I'm gonna eat the fuck out of it. Chet says, I think she owns a restaurant or something. Yeah, that the soup girl. Yeah, she has her own restaurant, so she's used to the pressure. Which, talk about a calling. Talk about a calling, huh? Like, this is what I say. I love when people find their calling in life. It really is amazing. Like, it just makes everything so much easier. Because even though restaurants would be so stressful for me, I'm like, I know YouTube is so stressful for so many people. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, there's always stress in even the work you love. But it's just like, I know I was made to be like a content creator versus like a chef. Oh, girl, I love to cook, but I don't think I was made for that. I don't think that's me, girl. And like, I love that. Like, it's so, ugh. And look, you can tell just like the simplicity. I know it sounds like, but you know, oh my gosh, when you watch Kitchen Nightmares, like you really realize that like these people are not chefs or cooks. They're not, their heart isn't in it. They don't have a relationship with their food. They don't know what food means. Like you can just tell, you know? Ugh, love it. Love it.
It makes me curious about other items on the menu.
And then the kids' chicken pretendies meal with fries.
Yep, so that's 3. I've got some fries coming for that too.
And that's just supposed to be a small scoop, right?
Yep. We get that table 4 out now. We'll hit it just under 30 minutes.
Nothing else on the burger, correct?
Nothing else. Cheese and ketchup only. This is the first time I've seen orange in a long time, Shanley.
What does orange mean?
Orange means we're not doing as bad as red.
All right, what else can I help you with?
So the Texas toast back there needs chipotle aioli on it.
Okay.
Shanley is moving with purpose. She's asking questions. She is the first contestant yet to ask me if there's anything she can help me with. So there's bonus points for that one.
What's your favorite French fries? I like the cheeseburger. You like the cheeseburger?
The peppers and onions. We're just doing a scoop of the bell pepper mix and then the onions over here?
Yep.
Tomato on my face, I think.
Tomato.
Ooh, that looks
good. Is that like the vegan version of having egg on your face when you're embarrassed? You're doing great. Let's keep the pace up.
I have diced jalapenos on here. Where were they?
Here you go.
Some syrup and then oh, thank you. Wonderful.
Oh.
The most stressful part? Just balancing it all in a kitchen I'm not familiar with. Sorry, Chef. Pico guac and what was the other one?
Sour cream drizzle over the top.
Sour cream drizzle over the
A
top.
small handful of green onions.
All right, so these are good to go, correct, Chef?
Yep. So just shout out that ticket name, get those going.
Dining room 5.
Fucking right. Let's go.
If I need more mozzarella cheese, where is that coming from? Underneath?
I would look underneath and then behind, and if not, you're gonna have to let one of our friends know that they gotta go get some for us.
All right. Good luck, everyone.
Yum.
The last 2 have been the best 2, that's for sure. I feel like they have been more calm than the first 2, and I feel like their plating has been much neater.
There was an obvious difference that I didn't have my normal team here today. What surprised me most is how well the home chefs did. I expected Chloe to be in rhythm, able to read tickets, keep her mind in separate places. I didn't know how the home cooks would fare. They did pretty good.
My parents came in, and I didn't know they were coming, and right when
Oh, that's interesting. Wait, so who are the home cooks? Not her. She owns a place.
I was waiting in the hall to go into the kitchen. Someone opened the door and I saw my dad and I'm like, what?
My husband showed up. I had
This woman's a home cook, right?
no idea he was there, and a little bit later he texted a picture of me looking very intense.
Before going up, I kind of saw a little bit
She works at a restaurant, I thought, right?
of my son, and I'm like, hi, you know.
I had some local friends stop in.
No. She works at a restaurant. Sandwich lady. Yeah, maybe the last two are the home cooks, and the last two that just went, they're actually the restaurant owners.
And then once again, it was kind of crazy that they came right when I was cooking because they sent me a picture like back in the kitchen. They're like, there's little Shanley.
How are we feeling today? Glad it's over?
Yeah.
Maybe missing Mitchell Hall a little bit more than you thought you would. It was a tough day. The restaurant was packed, and as you can see from my Chef Whites, it was a bit of a mess. Ticket times, they climbed. Some people stepped up, stayed organized. Others were kind of feeling the pressure. Chelsea, how do you feel like things went today? Is this how a normal Saturday goes?
It did start out, I would say, a little bit dicey. We in the front of house were a little bit nervous about the ticket times. Turned it around though. Everybody was happy, and we want to thank all of you for spending your day with us today.
Yeah, I mean, as hard as it is to step into a kitchen you've never been in, with a menu that you've never cooked, working with people you've never been beside, and to only make things harder, you gotta work with me.
Am I fucking colorblind? Home cooks in pinkish colors and the restaurant ladies are in gray? Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, actually. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, as hard as it is to step into a kitchen you've never been in, with a menu that you've never cooked, working with people you've never been beside, and to only make things harder, you gotta work with me and my loving family. As is the case, every day gets harder. We get one person closer to being crowned the top vegan, but that also means we lose a dear friend that we've made this week.
Ooh, which
So, yeah, I
one?
think we've got some very tough decisions to make. If you want to excuse us for a few minutes.
Different than what we're used to.
Yeah.
But I feel like we all kind of just adapted and we didn't really have time to think.
We went into it thinking that we all were going to be working on the line together
Yeah.
to actually working separately.
I'm hard of hearing, and there was a lot of external noise, and it was kind of obscuring some of the directions that I was getting from
Giving neurodivergent vibes. That would be hard.
Chad.
There was a few dishes that were really difficult. Didn't expect to have to build a whole pizza, for instance.
To start from the top, Chef Noel definitely walked into maybe the worst situation.
Absolute chaos.
She was first. The board of tickets was full. You know, she definitely kept her calm, cool, but I just felt like I needed another gear. Teresa walked into a similar situation.
Yes.
A home chef with no experience.
We know how hard
That's
it is
hard.
with experience walking into that environment, so.
Chloe, coming from food truck to brick and mortar.
Oh.
You've got to expect she's seen it all. If she would have floundered today, I would have been really, really critical of her, whether that's fair or not. And last but not least, Shanley.
The most surprising.
Another home chef, limited experience. She
Oh.
plugged right in. She was
Wait, another home chef. So we were wrong. It wasn't even color coded. It was just a coincidence they wore similar clothes. I swear, I thought they said this person was a cook. Huh.
was loud. She was confident. She asked questions. She confirmed.
I mean, I will say when Chloe and Shanley were in the
I
kitchen,
feel like
it didn't even.
Could they be wrong? Because I swear I thought that person, I thought she had a restaurant or worked at, I swear.
Feel like it was part of a competition anymore. It felt like it was a normal Saturday.
So I think we're pretty confident about our top two, bottom two, winner and loser.
Absolutely.
Chet says they're all vegan chefs. I think are you being sarcastic? I think you're being sarcastic. You put a winky face.
It's gonna be another tough one, but I think we're ready to call the chefs back in.
Definitely.
You're just thrown right in. It's not like,
Okay, you are. Okay, I see. I can read tones.
okay, we're gonna ease into it. We're just going. So it was crazy.
Yes, if I make it to tomorrow, I would love to hear what my lovely colleagues have.
No, I feel like she's out. I feel like one of these two got to be out, right? There's no way. One of these two have to be out. Yeah, but that makes sense. They're home, like how it, well, no, because the other, yeah, I think these two got to be out.
To hear everybody's different stories and, you know, what they believe veganism should be and how to take it to the next level.
Yeah, another tough challenge. There was no 75-minute time limit, mystery pantry, no blender gate gone missing, anything like that. But it was not without its challenges. Two of the chefs that we think did the best today, and that would be Chloe and Shanley.
Chloe, It was a breath of fresh air when you came into the kitchen. It was kind of just like going back to a normal workday. Your experience showed. Obviously, you have a ton of it, and it was very much appreciated.
Ooh, Chad says this is a silly comment, but I love your earrings. However, if a fundamental vegan person sees that, they probably have a problem with it. I don't know. I wanted to ask you guys, these are ethically sourced butterfly wings. They come from dead butterflies, and I bought them because I asked the lady when I bought them, I said, are these ethically sourced? And I bought them many, many years ago at a BDSM convention. And she said all of them are ethically sourced by butterflies that have naturally died. They work in a butterfly center. And I bought 2 pairs. I feel like vegans would be fine with that, right? Because there are like roadkill vegans. Have you heard about these? Roadkill vegans feel like you can eat meat as long as it's like roadkill. So basically, if an animal dies naturally, you can harvest their flesh. And I feel like, yeah, like I'm like no food wasted. I'm like a no waste kind of person. So I feel like if the butterflies died naturally, which they will do, harvesting their bodies to make new products seems fine. But then I guess like you do have to use this like plastic over it. So that's causing more plastic into the universe, which feels like a negative for the environment. Right? So maybe letting the butterfly carcasses just end up back into the dirt would make more sense. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. But what's a butterfly center? Or I don't like a conservation place. You know how like you go to Seattle and they like let you, there's like butterfly, I don't know what they're called, like habitats, and they let you like roam them and stuff. That's what I'm thinking it is, like a butterfly. Because in America, we have a lot of butterfly, what are they called, guys? Where they like propagate and try to keep the butterflies going. You know what I mean? But I don't know. This isn't my area of expertise. I'm just a consumer, you know?
At that point in the day.
And Shanley, you know, you were, I think, by far the most
impressive.
Yeah, like a sanctuary, I guess. A good word, sanctuary.
Yeah.
I was kind of awestruck learning that you were a home chef, having no real kitchen experience, especially like on the line like that. I think that anybody would be lucky to have you working in their kitchen.
Shanley, I really liked how, you know, you get your stuff done and say, what do you need? What do you need?
Ooh, what do you need? Okay, wait, Chad, great point. Wait, I used to do thrifted leather and vegans had a problem with it. You know what? Peace and love. If you're like thrifting, recycling, reusing is like one of the best things. You know what I mean? So if vegans are like anti-buying leather from thrift shops, like you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know what veganism is. It's a construct. We made it up. So why did you make it up? And what are the rules of it? That's why I can't identify as a vegan, because I don't know what the rules are. It feels like there are rules I just don't get. You know what I mean? But like, that's everything. That's that's why I say don't identify with a philosophy. That's also why I don't identify with a philosophy. Like, my levels are not meant to be identifiable. You're not supposed to identify with the levels, right? That's why the joke is like, oh, I'm a leveler. That's the joke. Don't do that, because it doesn't make any sense. No philosophy could encompass the diversity of what it means to exist on a planet that we don't even understand, you know? So yeah, don't identify with philosophies, in my opinion. But if you do, that's good. I don't identify with any philosophies because I think they're all limited by the construct created by the human brain. You know what I mean? Chat says rules are simple. Don't use animals. Not as simple as you think. You know, what does that mean to not use animals? Like, I don't even know what that means. Like, that doesn't mean anything. Don't use animals doesn't convey meaning. It like doesn't make sense. Like, we're animals, they're animals. You know what I mean? Like, everything is animals. What does it mean not to use animals? Like, I just don't know if we have a way of that saying something. Like, that's like somebody saying like, it's easy, don't break consent. Okay, but like, that doesn't mean anything either, because like, we break consent all the time within reason. Like, there's perfectly good reasons to break consent. It's just not in the ways that you think. I know you think you're saying something, but to a human brain that has a vast experience in life, it doesn't apply to every experience. So it's confusing, you know? Discord said, I feel like people let disgust get in the way of complexities of reducing harm. For sure. You know what I mean? Yeah, don't exploit others. Yeah, obviously, like, don't exploit others is pretty good. I just don't know if we know what that means universally. But yeah, obviously, reducing exploitation would be number one, I think, for everything. We don't want to have to exploit anyone, so not at the expense of somebody else, right? Yeah, I think that's really good.
you need next. Yeah, Chelsea, if you'd like to announce our winner for today's challenge.
Yeah, our winner for today is Chloe.
Thank you. Though, of course, even the definition of exploit can be subjective. Let's go, Chloe.
Thank you so much. But again, Shanley, very impressed. But congratulations to Chloe. But each and every one of you exceeded expectations. So thank you for that.
And she was really nice and didn't make anyone cry.
Which also exceeded expectations.
Which exceeded expectations. Let's give another round of applause for Chelsea.
I never want to get overly confident.
Chad says, how about do unto others and include animals and others? Do you know why I say do unto others as you would want done to you? The golden rule doesn't apply. And I take stalkers into consideration. Stalkers are exactly people who are not good examples of do unto others. Like, people do treat you how they expect to be treated, right? They do. They want you to, like, the golden rule just doesn't make sense to like a brain that's literal. Okay, I'll treat you the way I want to be treated, but like people don't want to be treated like you. I treat people the way they want to be treated. I learned that as like maybe an autistic brained person, but when I treat people the way I want to be treated, they're not happy with me. So I don't treat people the way I want to be treated. I treat people the way they want to be treated. You know? So that's what I tried to do. I tried to honor every individual's differences and nuance and complexities, and I tried my best to meet them where they're at. Because if I treated people the way I want to be treated, like people get offended. Like people are like, Brittany, I don't like being treated that way. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Like, how would you like to be treated? So it's a good idea. Like treat people how you want to be treated. It just doesn't translate to a literal thinker. And a lot of us are more literal than we think, you know? It just doesn't make sense for everybody. Yeah.
Just want to go into each day focused and knowing what I want to get out of it and knowing what I want to accomplish.
So now we get to the harder part of things.
Uh-oh.
Both Noelle and Teresa, you guys were the first two up. You walked into an absolute hellstorm. And I think each of you kind of handled that a little bit differently. Teresa, you could definitely tell this was not in your element, but you did try to turn that into asking questions and confirming, just trying to make sure everything's right before you get it out. You were definitely vocal. Chef Noelle, you walked into absolute pandemonium. First woman up. I'm sure you're maybe regretting saying, hey, just throw me in there. I don't want to see anything. Just put me in the weeds and I'm going to chop my way out. And despite how hard things were at the beginning, you stayed your sweet, gracious self. Yeah, it gets harder every day. And unfortunately, the chef that will be no longer in the mix for Top Vegan, unfortunately, is Chef Noelle.
Damn.
You are just the sweetest soul. And I just needed you to feel the pressure a little bit more. This is not a situation I throw any of my employees into because it's just so hard. And it's going to be even harder to do our finale without, just another ray of sunshine. So.
Man. Ooh. I do appreciate the amount of emotionality that goes into the show as they get like further and further into the journey.
I'm sorry, Chef Noelle, but if you could hug it up with your competitors.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be so sad.
Aww.
I'm not sad that I lost.
Oh, P.S. Here's a vegan theory I have for you guys. What do you guys think about this? I was trying to think about what's a good example of like why it's a struggle to be vegan. Have you guys seen? Be with me. Stay with me here. Have you guys seen Beastars? Or what's the Disney version? What's the kid version of Beastars? What's it called? You know what I'm saying? Where the predators and the prey have to learn to be within society, but the predators do have a struggle time, like not evoking their instinct. I feel like that's what it's like for Zootopia. Thank you. Zootopia and Beastars. But from the vegan conversation is like that, where you're trying to integrate a thing that's been ingrained in us out of us. Like being vegan is telling a prey animal not to eat, or telling a predator animal not to eat prey. That's what you're doing. So to ask them to not do that anymore is almost inconceivable to some people because it's like, that's how I'm made. But then you're right that like, if I could talk to animals, I would feel much worse eating them to some extent. But see, I know that's not a universal truth for humans. Humans, like, did you see what came out of Assad's like regime? The prisoners Like humans will torture other humans and they can talk to them. Like that's what's crazy. It's like, it's not even about animals. I'm telling you, asking humans not to eat animals while humans are literally torturing other humans, there's something biological happening to us where like we are babies that are raised in environments that allow us to become adults that will be okay with torturing other adults. And a lot of it is cultural, right? I think there's something to be said about that, right? Chet says, Brittany, how are we predator animals? We use knives and guns and fire. Actual predators don't need any of those things. We are animals, correct? So everything we do is a part of our nature, correct? So anything we evolve to do is also a part of that nature. You cannot separate nature from humans. Everything we build is nature. Technology is nature. This microphone is nature. Like, we are the beaver to the dam. Like, animals use tools. We use tools. We are animals. Like, again, you cannot separate the fact that humans are biological creatures. I don't think a God put us here. I think we evolved. We evolved, which means we are as much of a bear as a bear. You cannot separate animals from us. So therefore, animals eat each other, right? Like, I don't ask the bear why it eats. I don't ask a human why it eats. In order to have a greater biological experience, we can then challenge ourselves to having a better relationship than with our caveman biology, which means we have to become more introspective, extrospective, which means we have to be more compassionate and loving, right? So like, again, this idea that if I was lost in a forest and I wouldn't eat a fish from a stream is so weird to me. Like, if being vegan means I'm lost in a forest and I can't eat a fish from a stream, like, girl, like, there is some part of our biological like nature that allows us to consume these animals, and it makes sense for us in every capacity. That doesn't mean as we get more into livable mode, more into privilege mode, more into a different version of our intellect, that we can't have a better, more like symbiotic relationship with nature. So maybe in the future, we don't have to eat animals, but not because it's wrong to eat them. Because it's a better harmony with nature that we don't, but not because it's wrong, but because we're aiming. This is why I say there's a difference between joy and a positive symbiosis and thinking something's wrong. Is it wrong, or is it like, you know what I mean? I think the idea that it's wrong to eat an animal is hard for me because we are animals. But is it wrong? And so, like, I think this is the conundrum, right? Like, again, I'm not the kind of human that gets mad at a bear for killing a human. Like, some people are like, kill that bear like has to die, da, 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 da. I don't know. Like, does the bear have to die because it ate a person? Feels kind of weird to kill a bear because it ate a person. But they do that because the bear will like have a hunkering for like human meat, from my understanding. But also, like, why are you killing the bear? Why are you killing a shark just because like it killed you? You know? But I also think that about people. Why are we killing people just because they killed other people? But if it's in direct self-defense, that's different. Then in the moment, you might have to kill somebody because, well, you know. Chaz says, exactly, it's about need. We don't need to eat them today, so it's wrong, but we need it in survival situations. Yes, but need is not universal. It's not a universal experience. So need not only comes from the logic, but the embodied experience. You might not have, like, I am telling you right now, I had an embodied change of being, right? Like, so people have to also get there. Like, same with like everything else, racism and sexism and homophobia. You cannot shame people into being these things. You have to liberate people out of it. You have to liberate people from their chains. You have to liberate people from the constructs. But you can't do that by just giving them the facts. Facts don't care. We have protectors that stop us from listening. If this was so easy, every therapist would need one session with people. You're traumatized from your childhood. Oh, thanks. I guess I'm cured. Bing. Like, no, we have a genetic predisposition to carrying on trauma from past generations. Like, we are not these simple, like, just give them the facts and they'll change. And this relates to veganism. If I am impacted by the trauma of my great grandma, then of course I'm impacted by the survival instincts of my ancestors. So we can't just like, oh, this is the facts, I guess I'll change my mind today. Like, it might work for some people, but it's all about timing. Again, if I had found philosophical veganism even 3 years ago, I probably wouldn't have engaged with it the way that I am. But the person that I am now, this person is like, oh, I'll engage with that. Right? So again, talking about like, again, I'm not sure about the rules of veganism. It's still confusing to me. If it's a black and white, it's always wrong to eat animals, then I can't get on board with that. But if it's not always wrong to eat animals, but it often is at a certain point of your introspection, extrospection journey, wrong to eat animals, then I can get on board. But like, again, when it comes down to like priorities, survivability, you know, all of the choices we make as people, as animals on the planet, I think it's just going to look different in different scenarios. And those scenarios have to be considered. They have to be considered because that's just how we work. Our fear is predicated on sometimes things that will never happen to us. I mean, that's why we don't want to focus on the fear, but we want to focus on moving forward, right? Chet says, oh, you said protectors. Do you know about IFS therapy? I know of it, but I don't know anything about it. I know there's like terminology like, nope. See, I don't know it. I know people tell me about it, but I haven't read up on it and I've never taken it myself. But I know of it. What is it called? Managers? Like people are always like, ooh, managers. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never done it. So when I'm using language, that's the thing too. When I'm using language, I'm not always like using the psychological perspective. I'm just using the word protector, like protector as the meaning of the word protector, not the IFS. I don't know anything in regards to that. You know what I mean? But people do seem to love it. I've just never done it. So I don't know, you know? Okay, let's see. Chat says the OG definition, I'm assuming you mean of veganism, is to reduce the suffering as far as a practical and possible, which I like because it means different things for different people, but it's still a goal. Love that. Fire. Love that definition. All right, let's finish out this episode.
Not that. It's just like, I wanted to share my story and to help other people. And I feel like, damn, like I was close, but it didn't get quite there.
I don't want to lose you as a
You're
friend
not.
and a contact, and someone who, you know, I can absolutely learn from. I'm just so proud of you. So
interesting that he offered the two women, specifically the two black women that he interacted with, saying, I don't want to lose contact with you, but he didn't offer it to anybody else so far. I have two reasons for this happening. Two reasons. I don't know which one it is yet, but interesting. Interesting.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I love you guys.
Yeah.
You guys be great. Back in 2010, I was diagnosed with lupus. And I've been lupus-free.
Lupus queen!
Since 2012 due to my plant-based lifestyle.
What? Shut up. We're going to rewind that. Please listen.
I was diagnosed with lupus, and I've been lupus-free since 2012 due to my plant-based lifestyle.
Oh, shit, bro. My fibro did so good on a vegan diet, bro. My fibro did so fucking good on a vegan diet. I'm not even going to play with you. It didn't go away. It's not like, you know what I mean? But here we go. We love her.
My personal story is why I do what I do. I'm not supposed to be here today. I should be dead. My son should be here today.
Wow. Lupus kills. Lupus really kills.
Opportunity to advance that dream.
I'm so proud of the three of you and everything I've seen from you this week. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm very excited to see what you'll have prepared for our next challenge, which will be the finale. You'll be tasked with creating a business pitch, a short 60 to 90 second high concept elevator pitch for a food business that you think is going to elevate vegan culture. It needs to be accompanied by a dish that embodies the menu, the mission. I'll have 3 guest judges with me, and I'm excited to see what you bring tomorrow, and I'm very excited to reward one of you as the top vegan. Thank you so much for joining me at the restaurant today, and I look forward to our next challenge.
I have a concept that I'm very excited about.
And if my story, if my presence could make you feel that much better than you did when you woke up this morning, then my job has been fulfilled.
Okay, we love it. Last episode, girls. Let's do this. Hold on. We got a super chat. Thank you so much for supporting the content, guys. Ashy says, spit a young boy verse. I love a super chat. Thank you so much. Who is young boy? Sorry, girls. I don't know who that is. Is that somebody I should know? I'm so sorry. I'm uncultured.
Excited, nervous, anxious.
I had this idea rolling around in my head for a while now.
Oh, I know who that guy is. I Googled him. I know his face. I could not tell you one word of his song. I'm so sorry. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Just came here to push myself, have fun, get out of my comfort zone, do something new that I never thought I'd do.
So doing a little plant-based take on seafood today. I have never made it before. I've made components of it, but never like the stacks.
This is the concept, so it's a whole picnic packed together. This wouldn't be the same if I didn't do the whole thing.
When I was a kid, I used to live in Germany, and one of my favorite things was this white radish salad they used to serve, and so I'm gonna serve a white daikon salad.
Welcome back, chefs. Is everybody happy to be back in Mitchell Hall today?
Ooh, chat, you're having a conversation amongst yourselves, but this question is said, if it's not necessary to kill, is it wrong? I would like to think, when I talk about being in sync with your joy, I would say that harm reduction is always a part of that. But if it's not necessary is the key here. How do you separate this from pro-life arguments about the necessary need for an abortion? Like, how do people separate that thinking? Because it just sounds like abortion, pro-life argumentation, right? Like pro-lifers will say, if it's not necessary, like, why would you kill a baby, right? And I feel like vegans are saying the animals that are alive now, why would you kill them? But like pro-lifers think the babies are like alive. I think, is that the disconnect? I'm still confused. I'm trying to like bridge the gaps between the bubbles. I'm not trying to do a gotcha, but I think like the word necessary is that's like such a good, and this is why philosophy, by the way, this is why philosophy is beautiful, because it is the idea that let's deconstruct the word necessary now. Like, what does necessary even mean, right? I don't think we have to do, necessary is too loaded of a word. Existing isn't necessary. Having children isn't necessary. Like nothing is necessary, right? So like we have to think about the idea of necessary depending on belief systems. I don't believe in objective morality. So if I don't believe in objective morality, that means there's an instance in which something could make sense or be redeemable, but also I think there's sort of an objective morality that might exist within our nature that makes us more symbiotic, right? So I really struggle with this idea. But I do wonder, like I think all of this is kind of fascinating. Like it is really difficult. Yeah. Necessary, such an interesting necessary. That's like, oh, that word is so loaded. In necessary. What is necessary? The budget people talk about this all the time. Like, it's not necessary to have XYZ. You spend too much money. And the people will say like, well, I have to have it for this reason, but it's not necessary. Necessary is so contextual, which is why I think sometimes eating an animal can make sense. Sometimes it's necessary to eat an animal, right? We agree. Like sometimes it is necessary that I eat an animal. It's just, I think sometimes it's necessary that we kill. But I agree with this idea that it's often less necessary and therefore we have other options. And I do agree with that. I do think generally certain people in certain bubbles, it is less necessary. But for some people, it might be more necessary. And that's like that's why I say everything is situational to me. Every day I wake up, I say, is it necessary for me to have 3 cups of coffee? Nah, I can settle for 2. Is it necessary but then is it necessary that I even have coffee at all? No. Is it necessary that I exist? No. But like, okay, get down to in sync with my joy. How do I remain joyful and healthy and happy? How do we all do that in every situation in our life? Is it necessary that we go and buy factory farm meat? Maybe. I don't know your situation. For Brittany, no, currently it is not necessary, so I'm not doing it. Now, would it be necessary at some point in my life to consume an animal to some extent? Maybe. I thought about it in this way too. I thought about it in opportunity. If somebody said, hey, I'm going to pay for you to have a Michelin star chef, amazing meal, you're going to eat it, but it's all like seafood and meat products, would you want to engage with it? That's an interesting question. Would I be a bad person for eating great food? If it means I have to eat an animal, like that's factory farmed, most likely, right? Even though Michelin star might say it's not, maybe it isn't, who knows? Maybe it's not. Like, would this be worth it to me for the experience? I don't know. I don't know. I really struggle because a part of me is like, nah, it's not worth it. But then if it's not factory farmed, it might be worth it. But if it's factory farmed, it's definitely not worth it. Factory farmed Michelin, not worth it. Non-factory farmed Michelin, which would just mean, then maybe it's worth it. But at this point in my life right now, I'm not speaking for future Brittany, but today, Brittany, no factory farm meat is worth it. So I'm not eating it. But I'm also not in a survival, obviously if I was in the wild, it wouldn't be factory farm meat I would eat. So that's out of, you know what I'm saying? If I'm in the wild, it's not even factory farm. Now the question is it necessary to eat an animal to survive? Right? If you're in the city where I am, factory farmed, is it necessary? No. So I don't have to do it. That's how I look at it. So if to be vegan, I have to say that I'll never eat an animal ever. I would never guarantee that. I could never guarantee that at the state of my state, this Brittany, I could never say that to you. But this Brittany living in this city, I don't have to eat factory farm meat. That's an easy pledge. Easy. I don't have to do that. Now, but can I taste it? Because if my partner makes something they like and they want me to taste it, I'm going to taste it. The animal's already dead. It's in our kitchen. I'm going to taste it. But I'm not going to go buy it, even though it's our money. So technically I am buying it. But I'm not going to ask my partner to have a whole relationship with their food they've had their whole life overnight because I have. Because that's something else, right? I'm on a journey separate from my partner, but we're a team. So our money is going to factory farming, whether I'm buying it or not, because it's our money, right? But I'm not going to ask my partner to be like, hey, can you go on this journey that you have not been contemplating, but I have, and all of a sudden switch where you're at because I've decided to go on this journey? No, because I don't think that's how humans work. See, the reason I don't ask my partner to catch up is because I don't think that's how people work. I don't think humans I think we move at different paces. The goal is just to move with each other as much as possible, right? So, my partner might get there. I mean, they're already a harm reducing person, so they're already on their own journey in that regard. They're asking themselves those questions, but to ask them to change overnight would be ridiculous, right? Chat says to be vegan, you just have to say you won't eat meat if it's not needed to survive and thrive. Okay, but tell that to the comment sections on my vegan video because they did not say that. The vegan video, here's one of the comments that I get a lot. Here's one of the comments I keep hearing. Let me get it for you. Hold on. It cracks me up. Because it's such an interesting, the argumentation is so confusing to me. But it's there. I get it. I don't get it. It said, what other social justice movement can we have this balanced approach for besides veganism? I'm not, quote, I'm not a racist, but if my partner makes a racist joke, I will laugh at her joke. How wild would that be? So they're saying, right? They're equating racism to veganism. Okay, I'm aiming for zero racism, sexism, and carnism. I accept that good people do bad things, and I think people can change, but I don't tolerate this. I'm 90% vegan or I'm 90% anti-racist. Either you are or you're not. That's the stuff that, I get it. I think it sounds more reasonable than it is in practice, but I get it. But also, what am I supposed to do with that? Are you equating me eating meat to being racist? Where's the, you know what I'm saying? What are we talking about? You know what I mean? I don't know. Discord said, may I ask how your pain is this week? Curious since you've said that the vegan diet is helping your fibro. I feel pretty good. I still feel at a solid 2, maybe a 3. I'm still working out and I'm incorporating movement into my day. So that's good. And I feel great. I feel light. I feel energetic. I'm sleeping better. Still rough sleep, you know how it is, but I think I'm doing better. I feel more rested in the mornings now. I feel, I think I'm actually having less headaches as well. I have to pay I usually get chronic headaches, but now I think I am getting less headaches. But I feel great. I feel really, really good. Yeah, I feel great. Yeah, I really do. Sorry, meat eaters, but I'm feeling pretty good. And sorry, dairy drinkers, but I'm feeling pretty good, yeah, I think I feel like my skin is glowing better. I feel like I feel really good. I've been off collagen all of this time. I still feel okay. My hair still feels fine. My nails are growing. They're a little bit more fragile than they were with the collagen for sure, 100%. But I'm okay. I'm okay with it. My nails break a lot more often. I just redo them. Like I had to cut my thumbs the other day because they broke pretty bad, and I just keep going. But yeah, I feel pretty good, you know? Chat says, remember that vegans commenting on the internet are not representative of most vegans. Don't get hung up on the vegans in the comments that are saying veganism is black and white, but not humans. I will say this. I think I'm pretty big on associating with communities and labels. And I'm pretty hesitant to join communities that have an expectation of behavior. Again, there's a reason I left religion. And so unless I feel confident owning a label, I'm not going to do it. But it's because the confidence is rooted in the rules. So what are the rules to being a Muslim? What are the rules to being a Catholic? What are the rules to being vegan? And if I associate with a word, I want to understand the rules. And if I don't get the rules, then I don't like it. So I don't want to fight with everybody. Like, I don't want to have to use a word. Like, again, using identities to explain myself is easier when they're inherent. Like I was born, like a woman, or my gender fluidity is inherent to me. It's not dependent on others. So I feel hesitant to own any labels that require me to exist in the extrospective. Like my queerness is inherent. Like it's not predicated on the outside world. You know what I mean? So veganism is hard because it feels like if I say it, then I get put into question. Like you can't question my queerness. You can't question my Assyrianness. You can't question my gender. That's not your business. But my veganism, like I can see why people would want to question that. That's I feel like that's valid to question like, oh, like what does it mean to be vegan to you? Like that's fair. But I really appreciate people sharing their stories and their vegan journeys because I get it. People are really passionate. I can see a lot of good in the community. I can also just see that I might not be well equipped to feel like I belong there. But to be fair, like I said, I don't even identify with philosophies in general. So if veganism is a philosophy, then I can't identify with it. I don't identify with any philosophy. It's like a big rule of mine because I think all philosophies are flawed inherently and don't encompass the true expression of a consciousness. So.
Our hellacious afternoon yesterday at 4th and State. Well, as hectic as it was, you guys each showed the confidence, composition, and the communication skills.
Oh, hold on. Chat says people do question the legitimacy of someone's queerness when they're bi, though. That's their problem, though. Queerness isn't a philosophy. Well, queerness is a political philosophy. Gayness is not a philosophy, right? So you can't question people's gayness. Like, it's none of your business. I mean, you can try and you can be rude about it, but veganism is a philosophy. It's a construct. So people, I think, have more of a right to question your dedication to the philosophy. Like if you say you're a utilitarian, or if you say you're a objectivist, or if you say, then you're signaling to the group, I'm a part of you. And I want to signal to the group, I'm not a part of you. Queerness, gayness, like LGBTQIA is the only community I try to signal as hard as possible that like we're in this together because like we're born this way. But yeah, I'm not, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think you're born a vegan. I don't think you're born polyamorous. Like I'm not, I don't think polyamory is like an identity. An inherent, I don't think you're born poly. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't think I'm born monogamous. Monogamous for life? Like, I'm not going to say monogamous for life. You know what I mean? But like, I'm not going to stop being gay somehow. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't go away. I'm only going to be gay for the next 10 years, guys.
Necessary to make it through that rough day on the line. It was hard to see Chef Noel leave us, as you can tell by the rainy day.
Okay, this is the last episode.
We lost a little bit of sunshine yesterday, but you three absolutely deserve to be here for the work you've done this week, and we're so excited to see what you make for us today. We're here on our final day at Top Vegan. Our finale will be you pitching your vegan food business concept and presenting us with a dish that embodies the menu, the mission,
I'm so excited,
and everything that you're proposing to us. Joining me to judge this final challenge, I've got an all-star Avengers level cast of business mind and perspective. On my left here, I've got Diana Nyo, affectionately known as Dingo, owner of Onion Maiden, a wonderful vegan restaurant in Pittsburgh. On my right, I've got Melanie Guzzo, owner of Virtue Vegan Salon. She has paved the way for so many food businesses in this city, allowing them to do pop-ups. And on the far right here, we've got a friend of mine, Craig Turner, the director of the Edge Innovation Hub that works with Donato's on the cutting edge of food, making food technology, validating new businesses, and overall uplifting the food scene.
Okay, do you know my biggest fear is memorizing everyone's names? When I watch these food competition shows, do they have something in their ear that tells people their names? Because I literally, I'm like, I'm sorry, what's your name? Like, I'm so bad with names. And then they sit here and host and have to know people's names and present. And I'm just like, oh, girl, I am not a host material. I think we take for granted how hard it is to host.
Here in Ohio, you've got one challenge left, $10,000, business mentorship, and the title of Top Vegan on the line.
Let's go.
Are you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, I think the first chef that we're going to have preparing their pitch for us is Shanley.
I saw you look at me. I was nervous.
It's a dead giveaway.
Whenever we're
Oh
doing
my
sushi rolls at
God.
home, it's always carrot, cucumber, avocado.
Is everybody just watching them cook one by one? Oh, the pressure, I'd sweat.
Avocado or like absolutely. And then I've done tomato before to kind of replicate a salmon. So I sliced that really thin and knew I kind of wanted to do that if the stack allowed. Didn't want to get too tall, but really wanted those components in there if possible.
Oh, I love rice.
Originally, I contemplated maybe just doing some sushi rolls. That's what we'll do at home. And then I didn't like the presentation of that and didn't know how like the plant-based caviar was going to sit on there.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God,
The
oh my
ring molds
God.
gave me some, I was very nervous pulling those off, trying to make sure the stacks. I've never done that before.
That whole pop-up scene is really changed the
It's kind of ugly a bit. It's not that pretty. How am I supposed to eat that? Is that, and that's fake caviar, vegan caviar on top, obviously. Yeah, how am I supposed to eat that? I'm not really sure.
accessibility for people to start. Normally people think you've got to have $500,000 sitting around to even start up a concept.
You know, it's a really good start. You're getting your brand out. You know, people know you before you even have a space. You know, you just, you know, seeing a lot of support and, you know, the want for the food. Yeah, I think that's a really good way to go.
The spherification worked today, and that was the big one. Everything.
I feel like it's really cute. Like, I like the greens on top. I think for a home cooked meal, very cute. For a restaurant meal, I don't know. Because I don't know what's going on. Is this rice, avocado? Is it, okay, so it's like rice, vegan salmon, rice, avocado, rice, salmon, rice? That's too much rice.
Went as I wanted it to, which was a huge relief. I was so nervous, like I said, with those ring molds, which my husband actually rushed down this morning.
If you would like to give us your 60 to 90 second business pitch and then tell us about this beautiful dish you've made for us.
So I feel like, you know, generations past had a block of tofu and you have people that are saying, I can't go vegan. I love cheeseburgers. And then you have someone like Tad who comes along several years ago and starts whipping up cheeseburgers that put a regular burger to shame here in Columbus, Ohio. And then after that, it's like, I can't go vegan. I love steak. Well, it's 2022 and...
Chad keeps saying too much rice is not a vegan thing to say. Wait, hear me out. I love rice. I'm a Syrian. All of our dishes every night have rice, okay? Rice is life. But maybe it's because I'm a Syrian. Rice is complemented by something to put into the rice. So maybe, like, I love plain white rice. I will eat plain white rice with a little bit of salt. I will eat it. But I feel like when I bite into something that's sushi-esque, okay, and I'm getting a layer, if there's too much rice, it's going to drown out the taste of the whatever I'm eating with it, complimentary wise. Like, I love rice, but excuse me for being hesitant, but we'll see. I could be very wrong. You're right. Who doesn't love rice, but you know?
Plant-based filet mignon enters the chat. So I want to keep with that innovation and elevating plant-based food and make things that you wouldn't typically think can be plant-based. So the shock and awe of the plant-based industry, if you will. You don't need to exploit animals. You don't need to eat meat. We have innovation, we have technology, we have creativity.
True. Excuse me, chat. Chat says, did anyone else's school lunches provide cinnamon and sugar for white rice, or was that just a Midwestern thing? No judgment. Whoa. Very interesting. Could not my bubble for sure. Also, new bubble thing I found out is some of y'all are putting the detergent cap in the washer with your clothes. Not my bubble either, but apparently the internet's very, very torn on it. I asked my partner, I was like, you put the cap in the washer? He's like, no, why the fuck would I do that? I was like, I don't know. The internet's arguing about it. Apparently, there's a whole part of the world that puts the cap in the washer. They say it cleans it off. Okay? I don't get it, but you know what? I kind of get it, but like just don't like, you know what I mean? Yeah, the cap to the detergent. For real. But apparently it's very common in certain bubbles because I was like, there's no way. But yeah, I can see it. Now that they started explaining in the comment section of the TikToks, I was like, oh, I see what your thinking is, but that's not, I've never done that. You know, oh, see, chat says my mom says it cleans it. That's what they were saying. They were like, it cleans it, it keeps it organized. I was like, oh, okay. You know what? Love that. Love human beings. We're all just like little birds collecting trash and making things shiny. We're all just like little animals doing things different ways. I love it. You know what? You go for it, girl. You go for it.
Plant-based industry.
So we've got some stacked sushi, maybe some avocado layers in there.
Yes, there's a layer of carrot, there's a layer of cucumber, avocado, and then I did kind of like a sashimi tomato, and then
looks plain as shit, bro. Looks plain as shit. I'm calling it right now. It's plain.
We have a sriracha mayo around the sides and that seaweed caviar on top.
You know, what would be the vessel for showing people that, you know, we're continuing to live on the cutting edge of food?
I think it would probably be like a fine dining just because I really love the plating aspect. I don't want it to be necessarily the price that you pay for most fine dining. And, you know, with the vegan, I feel like it already is an elevated price point because, I mean, you know, you purchased a lot of these ingredients. You know?
I did, and I've gotten very familiar with a lot of the local grocers. If I was not already familiar with them, I've been banned from 2 places.
It was such a relief. Going first, I think, was nice because after that, I was able to relax. Like, I've done what I can do, and that's it.
Welcome, Chef Chloe.
Thank you.
How are you feeling
All
today?
right, Chloe, let's do this.
Come off 2 challenge victories the last 2 days, dessert and the stress test.
She's gonna win. She's gonna win.
A little bit more comfortable than yesterday?
I don't know that I would say comfortable, but we're just going with excited. You
Okay,
know,
yeah,
nerves and happiness all wrapped up into one.
Okay, well, if you'd like to get started.
The
burritos?
concept is like selling prefix picnic packs in public parks. Each pack comes with a wrapper sandwich, a side, and then a dessert. There are also items that if you're not vegan, it's kind of a nice...
Now that's a fucking business. See, but she owns a food truck. The other one's a home cook. Now this is a fucking business idea, girl. Somebody said it earlier in chat, vegan Shark Tank. Let's go.
Use familiar flavors like, you know, buffalo, people like buffalo, cookie dough, broccoli cheddar.
Okay, okay.
I love picnics because it like includes food, spending time with loved ones, and being outside and in nature.
You've got your own business. Doing hair and salon work is its own beast that you've got to tackle. And then going outside of that to offer that space and opportunity. What got you into it?
Well, we've always been really community focused, so we always wanted to do things that supported other small businesses. And it's been really awesome to see these vegan like pop-up food truck concepts turn into brick and mortars because I think people really like, you know, they're not sure where it's going to go. To watch that happen has been incredible.
Okay, let me see. I'm sold, girl. I'm sold. Give me those cookie doughs right now.
Maybe bring a dog, maybe bring my boyfriend, but just laying out a nice blanket, taking your shoes off is key. You have to feel the grass on your feet.
Oh, yum.
Chef Chloe, would you like to give us your 60 to 90 second elevator pitch and tell us a bit about the dish you made for us?
Yes, I'd love to. My mom and I are very close, and we were talking about a year ago. And she was saying, you know, Chloe, you're going to find yourself at a point in life one day where you have kids, you have a family, you're busy, and life's inevitable struggles are coming at you every single day. And you know what you gotta do? You just have to stop, grab the kids, grab a blanket, and just pack picnics. And those 3 words really just stuck with me, and I knew one day I wanted to do something, write a cookbook or make a business. My goal with Just Pack Picnics is to help people fall in love with the art of picnicking while also finding comfort in health food. So Just Pack Picnics will be enclosed kiosks planted in public parks across the city. So there'll be 5 prefix picnic packs and then 1 rotating seasonal one. Each one will contain a side salad, a sweet, and either a sandwich or a wrap.
What do you want to tell us about the pieces you have for us today?
We have a buffalo chickpea wrap, We have a side broccoli cheddar salad with house-made coconut bacon. And finally, our cookie dough protein bites, which are made with cashews, oats, some maple syrup, and then vegan chocolate chips.
So how much would this cost, and what are your plans for waste?
The idea with the small menu is so a lot of the same ingredients are being used to eliminate as much waste as possible. And then I was thinking each pack would be about $14.
Hey, that's
How
pretty
do you
good.
plan on restocking these kiosks in the parks? Like how often and how would you manage that?
I think it would definitely be a trial and error until we get a solid system of knowing how it's flowing out. I really felt like in order to showcase the whole concept, yeah, I had to show the different parts of it. So I just decided to go for it.
Welcome, Teresa. You're maybe our most consistent competitor
Oh.
this week in the top.
Wait. There's a top 3? So, but they're going to pick the winner this episode? Oh, interesting. I don't know why I forgot about her. So, okay.
2 or top 3 every day, except for yesterday. Small hiccup. You looking for a big rebound today?
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, we are ready to see what you have prepared for us. If you want to take your time, finish up.
Uh-oh, chat said, hold up, this is vegan food. Did you read the title of my stream? I love it. Yes, welcome. We are watching a vegan cooking show.
Finding something that's veganized in German, really rare. So there's little pockets of things, and those are what I'm trying to kind of hint out and introduce people to.
She's the first one I've seen taste the food. That's what I've been thinking all the time.
How is nobody eating their own food? How y'all cooking your food at night? I am so annoyed. What do you mean? What do you mean you're not tasting your food? That's crazy. Fired.
To a lot of.
How dare you serve me something you didn't taste? How dare you serve me something you didn't test?
On everything is planned. I can tell she's doing it on purpose.
Even home cooked meals. My mom always taught us taste test. My mom would call it out, taste test. And all the kids would come running to get a taste test. And we tell our mom what we thought we needed. Hello, you gotta taste test people.
I felt like I had less time than I expected, but I adjusted, pivoted where I needed to, edited.
All right, this is the most cooking we've seen yet today.
Yeah.
And so that agape automation, is that what you're kind of spinning some of that food tech for Donato's?
Comes from the values of our businesses. How do you lead with love? How do you do the right thing? How do you use the golden rule in business?
And I think the final product really matched my vision.
Oh,
so, yeah,
shit.
I was pleased with how it turned out.
Final challenge, long competition. You've been pushing yourself the whole time, so I'm excited to see what you've got.
So I come from Cincinnati. There is a lack of high-end, refined vegan dining. Even the restaurants that are high-end, that are not vegan, that do offer an option that is vegan, the vegan option will be on the menu for 3 years and never change.
Oh.
So I present to you Sumac and Sage.
Oh, shit.
It is a pop-up vegan supper club.
This girl came prepared.
What it focuses on is from scratch cooking, high-end ingredients, and a deep dive into various cuisines. For example, these are some of the things that I have done in the past couple of months. Greek, I've got spanakopita with spinach that is sourced from a farm down the road from where I live. There's Vietnamese crepe. So this just gives you a flavor of some of the international cuisines that I'm capable of making. I'm thinking 3 to 4 courses, soup, salad, entree, dessert, optional wine pairing. So what I've prepared for you today is visit to Germany. Germany has a soft spot in my heart because I lived there for 3 years when I was a kid. One of my favorite dishes was a paprika schnitzel, which is what I've recreated for you, as well as spätzle. And then one of my very, very favorites, a white radish salad.
In a world of restaurants that are very genre focused, how do you think about some of the challenges in overcoming maybe distraction, people not knowing where to look?
I would think that the clientele would primarily be vegan, so I'd be, hitting up the vegan groups that are in Cincinnati, definitely advertising through there.
I think the issue she might run into too is like, I've never heard of this dish, so I would be confused on what it was and like what I was getting. But I don't think I have a lot of experience with German food in general. Now that I think about it, I don't think I have that experience, so I'd be excited. I'm like, tell me, like, I'm like, share it with me. I'll eat it. So I actually would be in some way excited to order it because I don't know what it is, but also like worried because I don't know what it is. You know what I mean? But I would eat this.
So is this a normal serving?
We eat a lot in our family.
Oh.
Yes, in my family it would be a normal serving. I would
Damn.
not serve this much at the restaurant. So
Okay,
the idea
girl.
of the pop-up was called Sumac and Sage. My daughter's name is Sage.
Aw.
So she was kind of the inspiration for the name, and she designed the logo.
Let's take a few minutes to go over what we liked and what we didn't like, starting with Shanley. The dish was interesting. The caviar, I love
I
the food
hated it.
science,
Sorry,
but
girl.
definitely seemed like there were some other components lacking in the pitch and maybe in the dish as well.
In terms of plating, I think it was a little bit clunky. I think that, it was probably a little bit too big.
I like the idea where it was going, but I need to like understand a little bit more of like, where is this gonna happen?
I'm kind of looking for something that sets us apart, something that gives it some zing. And I didn't see that or didn't taste that.
Next up, we had definitely a much more specific pitch with Chloe's.
Love this.
Putting a commercial enterprise in the middle of a park is super challenging, but I think if that concept was morphed a little bit to be accessible in different ways.
I do love the mix of kind of the side, the main, and the dessert.
I mean, me personally, I think the food was like a little over-seasoned for my taste. So if I was to get that from a kiosk, that'd probably be a one-time purchase.
And then last we had Teresa. She presented us with that huge plate.
There was so many concepts in one that it was hard to even define what the business was.
I think it makes sense to just pick one and get good at that and be known for that.
But that being said, it was very well made. It had great flavors.
Okay, well, long, hard discussion. I'm sure they're sweating out there, stewing. So I guess we'll bring them back. You all did an amazing job today. You served some great food, some great business concepts were heard, and it was tough deciding. We talked and fought, and Craig pushed me down. To start, we'll be taking one of you chefs out of the competition to reduce it to our final two. And unfortunately, the chef that'll be leaving us is Shanley.
Yep. Bye, girl.
I'm so sorry.
Sorry.
The dish was really good. I think we were just wanting a little bit more structure around that business.
The caviar was very impressive, unbelievable.
Yeah, and fantastic presentation. That was really beautiful.
You have impressed us so much throughout this whole competition. Every dish you've made has been stunning. Your attitude has been wonderful.
Yeah, disappointed, but I mean, I made it to the finale even, so.
We'll start with Teresa.
When you pitched it, it was a bunch of array of different kinds of foods, and I think narrowing down would have been good.
But in general, I love the idea of a pop-up supper club, the scarcity of an intimate, experience for people to be part of.
It was very well made and lighter than I expected from how it looked.
And Chloe, I think we all really liked the idea of this picnic basket experience, but issues of the placement.
My only holdup was just like, how is this concept going to be, presented and actually put through to the government entities or in these public spaces?
Really love.
I think what's frustrating is like they're not actually starting these businesses. You know what I mean? So part of me is like a little annoyed that this is a part of the pitch because they're not opening a business. It's not like they're going to give them a business. So like, you know what I'm like? I don't know. That part is like, I've never seen this element in a cooking show because it doesn't make a lot of sense, but like, I don't know. What do I know?
How you tied your story into the brand that you're proposing. That was very strong and really cool.
I want to see how you're able to communicate that story within
I'll be real. I'm voting for the picnic girl. I like her idea the best.
Kiosk setting. I could see in the future that you're going to probably have to pivot to be able to reach your customers.
It was very.
Wait, Discord said, isn't the point of the prize business training and the startup money? Oh, is it? Wait, I think I didn't process that. Oh, wait, is that? Oh, I'm stupid. I don't think I processed that. I didn't think of it as startup money. Oh, it's for, so they're going to get business trained in business and get $10,000 for a startup. Okay, Discord, thank you, because I totally put that out of my head.
Very interesting hearing about Chloe's pitch. I didn't know quite what she was planning, but it was a very intriguing, very innovative idea.
Coming from like a food truck background, that's definitely a hurdle of just getting permits, and you can park some places and you can't park some places.
I think we've made our decision, and the winner for the inaugural season of Top Vegan
Picnic
is going to be Chef Chloe.
Yeah!
Congratulations.
Let's fucking go, boys!
Again, I think both of these concepts have
so much legs behind them, and if I didn't just spend every dollar I had making this TV show, I'd invest in them both right now.
Wow.
So yeah, congratulations to you both.
Wait, see? Wait, what?
It was a long, hard competition. I'm so very proud of you. And Chloe, you're our top vegan. How does it feel?
I'm speechless. It's amazing. Thank you so much for just the opportunity. It's been a whirlwind, but it's amazing.
So I'm very appreciative of you guys coming here today and spending your time with me and with my brilliant chefs who did
I love that he wore a beanie the whole time. That's so funny.
so well. Congratulations once again.
Thank you so much.
And then I've learned so much from all the other chefs. I feel like we've all kind of learned from each other. Like, I never thought about using that, and I never thought about doing this that way. So learned a lot, and learned a lot about myself even and what I'm capable of. So I hope a lot stays with me for a long time.
I tried to really push myself all week, get outside of my comfort zone, think outside the box, and I think it really paid off. I'm really, really pleased with my performance. Placing second in a competition, I'll take that.
Oh my God. Chat, thank you for the super chat. Spit a Lil Wayne verse. Oh, I love Lil Wayne. Could I even spit a verse? Hold on. Don't see how I'm actually considering it. I couldn't do it to save my life. I've already practiced rapping in my room alone. Trust me, I can't do it. No. Well, thanks for the super chat, bros.
I just want to congratulate Teresa and Shanley because they both did amazing, and I'm just so proud of us three to have gotten to the final.
Okay, wait. Hold on. Give me a second. Okay, hold on. Okay, going back to the first episode.
Welcome everyone to Top Vegan. We're here at The Mix, the state-of-the-art culinary facility here at Columbus State for the next week to compete across 6 challenges where you'll be tested on your culinary creativity, your kitchen aptitude, and above all, your ability to adapt to what's in front of you. At the end of this week, a winner will be crowned Top Vegan, and with that comes business mentorship, and a $10,000 cash prize.
So the business mentorship at the end, I feel like he should have amplified that more in the episode. Like, I feel like he should have talked about it more throughout the series, because even at the end episode, he didn't emphasize it. You know? He didn't emphasize that, like, now we go into training. He said, I just spent all my money on this TV show, but otherwise I would invest in your businesses. So that's like a confusing branding to me. But there is a season 2, and I think we should watch it possibly next week, maybe on a Friday once again to, get us into our weekend. That's it for today, guys. We did it. Does anyone have any closing thoughts on this vegan show? I loved it. I thought it was great. Let me give you the link again for the channel. You guys can check them out. We'll watch season 2 next week, most likely, unless something crazy happens or something. But I think it'd be really nice. Shaz, as you said, you had 2 reasons as to why he hired those 2 women. What were they? Well, he didn't hire them. He gave them special treatment, though. And I don't know, like, a part of me thinks, like, why didn't he give anyone else? He specifically gave them special treatment. And I thought that was interesting. And I thought maybe he just specifically loved their food more. So he has like a bias for their way of cooking. Or he connected with them personally the most, which is interesting. Because then I wondered, what is his connection with like women over men? And I had all these theories about it, but I wasn't sure. But he didn't do it to anybody else. Isn't that interesting? He didn't feel as connected. So he must have really liked their food or their personality. He must have really got along with them. But also they were kind of the hippie-ish. Like they had the coolest like vibe that I think matched his restaurant. Did you notice that people at his restaurant, they were kind of hipsters? He's a hipster. So I wondered if that was the connection, because the girl who got eliminated the next, fashionista, good personality, so they must have connected on that front. But yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a great show. I really enjoyed it. And I'm so glad that they found it. I'm so glad we could watch this. I hope they get the funding they need to continue the series. They're not a very big YouTube channel, but I'd love to see them do a season 3. That'd be really great. So hopefully they get to do that. I think it'd be really great. Okay, girls, we did it. Now, just a reminder. March 16th. So this Sunday, we are 2 book clubs away from finishing I'm Glad My Mom Died. So March 16th and 23rd, and we wrap up. This week is chapters 56 through 74. We do the audiobook to give people a listening chance, and then we do a discussion. So we do about an hour of the audiobook, and then we discuss afterwards. Please come join us. Discord 101, great for new people, open discussions. You signing up for the Patreon helps fund the content, which we appreciate as a primarily Patreon-backed content creator. I appreciate it. Discord 101, please come. Be 18 plus, of course. No children in the Discord. That's March 30th. And then we're doing Smash on the Switch, very casual, very laid-back event. Sunday, April 6th. Come join us. It will be great. It will be beautiful. Okay. With that said, Discord said, is Smash being streamed, or are you guys just going to be on the VC? Tech depending. My goal is to be able to stream the Smash so you guys can watch even if you're not playing. That is the goal. So tech depending, that is the goal, but no guarantees. So that's the goal, though. That'd be fun. Okay, with that said, thank you for being here. Please have a great weekend, and I will see you for the next one. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I don't think so. I think I am, but I don't know. Why do I feel like I am forgetting to tell you something? You know what? I guess it's not that important. I'll talk to you guys again on Tuesday. Okay. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.